I have झुमकी और झुमकी के साथ I am Monica Kukreja from Bal Bharati Public School, Rohini, and I have been associated with this school for more than 15 years, and I find myself very privileged to be associated with Bal Bharati Public School Parivar. And on this occasion, today, before beginning, I would like to thank our mentors, my respected principal, ma'am, Mrs. Geeta Gangwani, Bal Bharati Public School, Rohini, and my headmistress, ma'am, Mrs. Alka Tandon Chadda, who has been my guiding light always. So a big thanks to all my mentors and the Bal Bharati fraternity for giving us this opportunity that we all have gathered here to learn, to upgrade ourselves, to groom ourselves. Now, before proceeding further, Bharti ma'am, झुमकी मुझसे कुछ कह रही है बार बार मेरे कान में, तो क्या मैं कुछ पूछूं?
हाँ हाँ, पूछो पूछो
एक्साइटेड है कुछ कहने के लिए, तो क्या
पूछो
आप
पूछो।
एक्साइटेड है कुछ सुनने के लिए? तो
हाँ,
थम्स अप।
हम तो बहुत एक्साइटेड हैं।
I request all the participants to please keep their cameras on during the session, and you have to keep yourself on mute. The microphones should not be on, otherwise we'll have disturbances. And if you want to say something, you can either use the raise hand option or you can write in the chat box. So we will be supporting you soon. And I can see a raise hand option from Rajshri Nayak. You can switch on and just say whatever you want to say. Please, you can switch on. You've raised hand.
Sorry, ma'am, it was just by mistake.
प्लीज
Okay.
थैंक यू, कोई बात नहीं, आप उसे बंद कर दीजिए. So during the session आपको कुछ भी पूछना है, I think both the languages are comfortable to all. We will be using some Hindi, some English, which will make everyone comfortable, and we would really appreciate if you give your participation through the chat box. That would really be motivating for both of us. We don't want you to sleep and we also don't want to be lazy. So just keep us active and you also remain active for the session. So now झुमकी को कुछ कहना है क्योंकि ये बहुत बोलती है और ये चुप बिल्कुल नहीं रह सकती है, so कुछ कह रही है. She is saying कि I am going to tell you a riddle, आपको guess करना है. So are you all ready for the riddle? Guess करेंगे आप? I request cameras on करें. I can't see many of you. अगर आप कैमराज ऑन करेंगे तो इंटरेक्शन करने में बहुत मजा आएगा. नया खजाना घर में आया, डिब्बे में संसार समाया, रंग बिरंगी दुनिया दिखलाता, ज्ञान बढ़ाता, मन बहलाता.
रोशनी को आता है.
रुको रुको, पहले चैट बॉक्स में देखने दो ना, सब बताएंगे. क्या आप गेस कर पा रहे हो? मैं रिपीट करती हूँ. नया खजाना, अरे झुमकी कर रही हूँ, बता रहे हैं, वेट तो करो.
अरे रोशनी रुको तो, अभी पहले बाकी सबको तो बोलने दो.
इतना इम्पेशेंट नहीं होना है. नया खजाना घर में आया, डिब्बे में संसार समाया, रंग बिरंगी दुनिया दिखलाता, ज्ञान बढ़ाता, मन बहलाता, बूझो कौन? Can you put in the chat box and tell us? Oh yeah.
अंजू वर्मा. अंजू वर्मा says TV.
नहीं, अभी हम पहले रोशनी से पूछेंगे कि ये सही आ रहा है या नहीं.
हाँ, रोशनी बताएगी.
ना अभी रोशनी को नहीं आ रहा है.
रोशनी says हम सब का प्यारा TV.
Yes. So all the participants, a big cheers for all of you. You guessed it right. So this is the magic indeed which is created by toy-based pedagogy that is used in the classrooms at foundational stages. So children learn best through the play and exploring play materials, because this aids in the development of physical and mental skills which are necessary right now for them. So just allow me to share my screen and we can begin. So we welcome you all to this toy-based pedagogy session, and we hope we will keep you active throughout the session. This session will provide an overview of toy-based pedagogy across the foundational stage. It is where children learn through toys and games, as children learn best through play and exploring play materials. Thus, this session focuses on helping our learners to explore their immediate environment and the world of toys and games, and then practice the use of toys and games in the classroom processes. So the learning outcomes after this session, all of us, the teachers, will be able to get familiar with this pedagogy as an integral part of experiential learning. You will be able to integrate this TBP across 3 developmental goals, and you can implement at foundational and preparatory stages. You can map the concepts with toys, games, and manipulative materials. You can promote cultural connect through the toy-based pedagogy. Then we can all have a DIY toy area in the classrooms, which we all have to work together and set up in our own schools. And we have to motivate our children to create these DIY toys from low cost or no cost materials and resources. So moving further, first I would like to explain what is play. Play is our brain's favorite way of learning. Play is the activity that has no serious motive and from which there is no material gain. It is fun, it is no work, it is just musty for a child's perspective. The distinction between work and play, however, lies in the mental attitude. So, play gives children, just allow me, a chance to practice what they are learning. By play, they don't even realize that they are learning something and they enjoy whatever they are doing. So what is the importance of play among children? Why these days we are talking so much about play and toy-based pedagogy? Play is a vital tool for children to use to support their emotional, cognitive, and physical development. Through play, children can use the skills they've already mastered to extend their knowledge and understanding of the world. Children really feel very comfortable, very confident when they are playing, and they have freedom. They consequently feel they are able to experiment, they are able to take risks, they are able to question, and they are able to explore. So they come out of their shells and they have freedom to do anything. So they enjoy that also. Through this exploration, children are making connections and building up ideas, concepts, and skills. So through play, children can gain a sense of achievement and thereby developing self-esteem. Play is the natural and spontaneous phenomenon. It depends upon the age, sex, interest, personality, ability, cultural pattern, and social economic status also of the child's family. So play, playtime, playmates, they decrease as the age increase. आज हम सब भूल गए हैं अपने खिलौनों को, वो लकड़ी की काठी, जो हम लकड़ी की काठी, काठी का घोड़ा हम कितना गाते थे, आज हमें कहाँ याद है, कहाँ है वो हमारे लट्टू, वो फिक्रीज, वो डुगडुगीज, वो हमारी काठी का घोड़ा, we have forgotten. हमें पता ही नहीं है खेल क्या होता है, इतनी भागा दौड़ी वाली जिंदगी में हम पीछे छोड़ आए हैं अपने खेल को. So this play decreases as we grow up. Play is a social behavior which differs in various age groups and it depends upon the level of development. It is an individualized behavior. Now here I would like you all to please poll. I am sharing a poll link. आपको please उसमें participate करना है और हमारे साथ poll का हिस्सा बनना है. I am stopping the presentation and putting the poll link in the chat box. आप उस पर click करेंगे and please try to give your opinion. What do you think about the question that we have shared in that? Just allow me a second and I'm putting it in the chat box. Please click on that link and give your opinions. Here is the link for the poll. Just take a few seconds it will take please poll and give your opinions so that we can see what is your perspective. What do you all think about that? Please give your opinions. You have to enter your name and then just give your opinion, which says, do you think using toy-based pedagogy in your classroom will prove beneficial? So please just give your vote so that we can know. Those who have just joined, I've shared a link in the chat box. Please give your opinions so that we can know. I've got 18 votes right now and I want to know, Bharti, will you please copy the link and put it in the chat box again because people are entering right now also. Please copy the link from chat box and paste it in the chat box again. I've got 22 votes and people are saying yes. I have not got any no. That's really appreciable, and we all think that yes, toy-based pedagogy will prove beneficial in our classrooms. So we all are having a positive attitude towards this pedagogy, and I'm sure we all will rock. Okay, I will again share. Just allow me a second. I will again share the link.
I'm sharing, Monica ma'am. Done.
There are people who joined us now again.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
links are there in the chat box. You have to click on this link and you have to give your vote by putting your name. So we'll get the results. Yes, very good. I've got 27 and I'm sure the people are sitting in groups. So the number of votes will reflected will be less. But people sitting together, they are agreeing to what is being put in this vote. Yes, thank you. The number is increasing gradually. That's really good. So please keep polling and I am going to the presentation again. We'll talk further. And I'll have to put it on the presentation mode. So we'll start. Yeah. Now the school children, they enjoy competitive sports, games, and they develop hobbies for recreation and diversion. School-age children, they imitate and dramatize more complex activities, even acting out stories in the books. So here now we start with the toy-based pedagogy in the classrooms. So this toy-based pedagogy is in alignment with NEP 2020 and our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's vision of vocal for local and Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign. So toys as a teaching learning resource, they have the potential to transform learning easier and more fun-filled. Toys help in understanding the cultural heritage of our country and they strengthen the psychomotor and emotional development of a child's personality. So that is why we are stressing on this and we are getting ourselves ready for incorporating this pedagogy. Toys help in speeding up the language development, especially as they get involved in making their DIY toys. They talk to them, they connect to them, they relate to them, and they become best friends. So there are toys at all the stages, foundational, preparatory, and for the other children who are beyond 11. So as we move higher in the ages, the toys overlap with the games, which are at times where the toys play the role of a prop. Toy-based pedagogy starts from a child of 2 to 3 years. The emphasis gradually progresses from sensory motor play to symbolic play as the child starts drawing more and more upon her imagination. So TBP at the foundational stage, the age group which we all are catering to, it is where children learn through toys and games. It focuses on helping the learner to explore their immediate environment. And as I told, it is also contributing to the language learning by setting up these DIY toys and DIY areas. But we have to choose these toys very carefully for our students so that it is easy to target and we can achieve the learning outcomes. Toys can be classified into many categories. It can be rattles, dolls, board games, It can be mini kitchen utensils. It can be games like pittu, like spinning the top, lattu and fuki, the four corners game. So toys can be used as a pedagogy from preschool to higher class. I request all the participants to please stay on mute. Stay on mute. Thank you. Now the children with whom we are all dealing with every day,
Somebody
they
is still unmuted. Participants, kindly mute yourselves.
we really appreciate if you keep yourself on mute. That will be really helpful for everyone. I can see Shivangi ma'am. Please keep yourself on mute, ma'am. It's a request. Ma'am, your microphone is on. Shivangi ma'am, please keep yourself on mute. Thank you. So the I was talking about the 5 to 9 years old child gets involved in various games and activities to develop their creativity and skills. And it can be, as you can see on the screen, card games, doctor and nurse kits, balls, bicycles. Then we can have crafts, jump ropes, paper dolls, table games, roller skates. It can be carom boards, ludos, marble games, kanche that we all used to play, the spinning lattus, the puzzles, the Legos that we have got, building blocks. These are all the activities we can get our children involved into. Now we have to create a DIY area and DIY toys in our classrooms. For creating a do-it-yourself DIY toy area, we need to have some materials which should not have, like the focus should not be on money. There should be low cost and no cost materials. The loose materials, environment materials like cones, spines, dry leaves, seeds. You can have bottle caps, you can have paper cups and plates, even you can have feathers of the birds which are lying down on the ground. They can be used. You can have the buttons which we don't use, the bottle caps which we don't use. They can be converted into a simple toy for a child. Now, when we are having a toy area, we have to plan the activities according to the children's interest and need. Just give it a big label, my toy area, and organize the toys and materials or the props on open shelves so that they are easily accessible by the children, and we can also keep them in baskets or in the carton boxes. The purpose is they should be accessible, child can use it and can feel free to make anything. Now, creating a thing, this DIY toy area where the children have the freedom to think out of the box and they can create anything. We can use the walls near the toy area to hang some of their DIY toys to motivate everyone in the class. We can hang the children's photograph when they are engaged in designing something. But we have to make sure that this area is just meant for play and creating and developmentally appropriate. We have to keep certain props that children can use. We have to sort the loose parts according to the shapes and colors and size. So now, whatever I have told, we just brush up that. Play helps to build the self-esteem and confidence. It develops problem-solving skills. It helps to develop new vocabulary. Children learn to cooperate and collaborate. They learn to share and care. They become independent. It helps children to release their pent-up emotions. So this is contributing for their overall development. Now, while choosing the play material, while creating the DIY toy areas, we have to be very cautious about the kind of play materials that we are keeping. They have to be safe, washable, lightweight, durable, simple, easy to handle, and attractive. Because then children will get attracted and then only they will try something. And it has to offer problem-solving opportunities. There should be no sharp edges. There should not be small removable parts which children can swallow or inhale. So we have to be very careful. There should be no toxic paints. They should not be costly. They should not be inflammable and not excessive noisy. So supervision during play is very important to prevent any accidental injury, and that is our role which we have to play. Playthings with electrical plugs also should be avoided because children over 8 years of age, they should they are only permitted to use them. So our children are very young, we have to avoid that. I did this action research last year where the topic of the research was to use puppetry in the classroom to enhance the English skills of class 1 students. Where you can see on the screen there was a change in the result. Previous, when there was no puppetry, the scores were 9.28, but when puppetry was introduced, the intervention was done, the results grew up and the scores were 9.59%. Here, the first task was to introduce puppet to the class, to make them comfortable with the puppets, to make them their buddy. When this was introduced using a Padlet wall, all the children, they came with their puppets, their buddies, they shared their feelings, they talked about their friend, and everyone was involved. It was very helpful to me in creating a joyful classroom, and I could have focused learners. Puppetry really helped to enhance oral and language skill development in the children. It acted as a gateway to open up their minds and helped to set the stage for learning. This puppetry helped me in fostering communication and to establish a comfortable atmosphere for my children because the learners didn't view puppets as having the same authority as we teachers have. Rather, they took it as a peer. They talked about them. They were opening up with them. So puppets provided an avenue to readily gain an insight into the learner's understanding of the concept. And the overwhelming experience which I had was with the children with special needs. The puppets gave a jumping off point to educate learners with special needs. It fostered diversity, inclusion in my class. Learners with disabilities also started showing keen interest in all the classroom activities. So puppetry changed the entire scenario of my classroom. When these puppets and toys were used in the class, it really helped the students to come out of their shell and overcome this fear of speaking by communicating everything through the use of this puppet. So they learned this way of expressing themselves. This puppetry led them to a path of self-discovery and expression, and it instilled confidence and boosted their self-esteem. So it was really wonderful experience using this puppetry in my class. It showed that incorporating puppetry as a pedagogical tool in a traditional class enhanced their level of confidence, improved engagement levels, and it also helped to increase the attainment scores of learners, the interest of the learners. As you can see, this is a pie chart where we ask the parents because class 1 child cannot express too much. So parental feedback was taken and they all said that yes, they have seen child feeling more interested in these sessions rather than earlier. So puppetry played a very important role. This I have experienced personally, and this is all what I have to say. Now I will request Bharti ma'am to please take over. I'll stop my presentation and I hope I am keeping your morals high. So how is the Josh? I remember that Uri wala scene. Josh is high. Anji,
Hi.
you can tell us. So now Josh is high.
Hi. 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 Hi.
Now over to you, Bharti. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monica ma'am. That was enriching. So, dear participants, as Monica ma'am asked, how's the Josh? It's high. So we are going to talk about some more skills, some more information will be shared with you regarding toy-based pedagogy. So by now, you all are aware that play is imperative. Play is important. It is imperative for joyful teaching and learning. Play naturally comes to children when they create new things. They learn faster, they learn in a more interesting way, in a better way. So with this, I am going to take the workshop further. And dear participants, kindly allow me to share my screen. So here we go. So is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Keep participating, speaking, so that I get a feeling I am talking to people, not to the walls and fans. So, just a quick revision of what Monica ma'am has already enriched us with. Importance of play-based technology. Uh, if I talk about importance, friends, it is endless. It is endless for children because if I talk about myself, if I have to today also as a grown up, when Saturday, Sunday, or there's a chutti next day, we play Scrabble or we play Ludo or something, with children. We are filled with joy. We look forward to it. And as teachers, if you recall, and I'm sure you all have witnessed the day when children have their games period, they are thrilled, excited, and छोटे बच्चे बार बार आके पूछते हैं मैम फिफ्थ पीरियड कब होगा हमारा गेम्स पीरियड है आज. And you just tell them, okay, get your toys tomorrow. We are going to have an activity. So the level of excitement and thrill in those children is that they would go home, and the first thing they're going to do is to put the toy in their bag. कहीं मैं भूल ना जाऊं कल लेके जाना मैम पता नहीं क्या कराएंगी इसके साथ. So that is the magic of toys, dear friends. They they promote not only the learning, but endlessly they help you. The children think, they plan, they analyze, they have this confidence of creating things. They learn cooperation, they learn collaboration, they think, the vocabulary increases, the thinking order skills increases, and what's not. So that is how toys work. And as you can see on your screen, on the pictures, the children are so busy in creating and enjoying that they're not bothered what is happening around them. Just have a look. So now toys can be anything, friends. Toys can be anything which involves a child. So that is just a quick recap. Let us move further. Taking you back to your B.Ed days, Gardner, the theory of multiple intelligences. As you can see on your screen, there are multiple intelligences on the basis of which we identify children. And in fact, in adults also, when I talk about intelligences, that is the ability to learn. Children have multiple intelligences in them, the ability to learn in various ways. Some of them learn through playing. Some you must have witnessed in your classrooms also. There are some children, who would sit religiously in the class and listen to the teacher speak. And that listening and that understanding creates wonder for them. Some are very vocal. Some are good in maths, not in languages. Some learn through music, some learn through nature, and some through talking to their friends. So covering multiple intelligences one by one, the first kind of learner you must have come across in your classes is verbal and linguistic. Now, such children, you would find them when, let's say, a teacher is absent, an arrangement teacher has to come. Children are running, making noise. This child would be sitting in one corner and reading. Such children would read, would write creatively, would listen, can do public speaking, and they are very good learners when they listen. Then you have musical. Such children, they would not even require musical instruments. You must have seen there are some children who would play tabla on the desk, and they would enjoy. So to teach such children, you have to think of something which is musical. You can create such toys. As you know, in the beginning of the workshop, you must have seen Monica ma'am came with the damru. And, we all loved it. when Chumki and Monica ma'am came with that damru and she played that damru. So such is the joy music gives us. So you can create that. To come with an example, let's say English teachers, let's say, you are teaching adjectives or you're teaching conjunctions, prepositions, there are so many poems available. There's so many songs available. For example, that poem we all have come across, chubby cheeks, blue eyes, teacher's pet. So once you sing it or play it, the children can sing it for you. That child who is rhythmic, who has that kind of intelligence, will reciprocate for sure. Then there are some children who learn through logics. You must have come across in your sessions, in your classes, rather, in your periods, that there are some children who are very good in maths. जिनको हम ये बोलते हैं एक भी स्पेलिंग ठीक नहीं होती बेटा ये कोई स्पेलिंग होती है सो मेनी स्पेलिंग एरर्स ऐसे कैसे मार्क्स आएंगे इंग्लिश में और हिंदी में यू विल लूज मार्क्स फॉर स्पेलिंग बट such children are very good when it comes to maths, when it comes to logic. So, participants, I hope you are feel free to push out in the chat box and raise your hands. Monica, ma'am, I hope you're keeping a note of it. Yeah. All right. Moving further, nature does wonder. So there are these children, when you take them out of the class, they love it, they love it. You teach them, let's say, any topic. You teach them maths concept of shapes. You take them out. They will explore to any level. You probably, you as teachers would have missed the design of your school building or the doors or the windows or the shape of the fan. But these children will tell you. You teach them adjectives out in the nature. They'll describe the park for you. The adjectives which you were struggling to teach in the class, these children would learn out. And then you have interpersonal or intrapersonal skills, intelligence, and that says that personal children, some children would enjoy learning with others in groups. Just see them, I as a teacher in my 16 years of experience have seen it many times that, there are some children who would probably not express themselves in a group. They would sit quietly and do their work and the work would be out of the world. But there are some who would learn better, who would express themselves in a group and they do wonderful work interacting, cooperating with others and communicating with others. So as teachers, whenever you plan your lessons, whenever you plan toys, take care of these multiple intelligences. And if you check yourself, you will discover or you'll realize, you'll find out what type of multiple intelligence you have. So feel free to type in the chat box and tell us what are you good at and how are you good at learning things. And then try it with your children and plan your lessons accordingly. Moving next are the most
they are agreeing to it, Bharti ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, Monica ma'am. Teachers, rather friends. We are co-workers, we are friends. It gives us an immense pleasure when we are talking to you and you react. It feels that you're not talking to the walls and the windows. So keep participating. All right. So 6 C's. These are very important when it comes to a 21st century classroom. Now, gone are the times, friends, when, we would write on the board and speak to the children and children would learn. Today, this is the times of internet, the times when children do their own research. And I am not talking about the ones who are grown up. I'm talking about the ones who are very small. They know so many things. You begin a topic and they have the kind of knowledge they have. It forces you to go back and search and Google it. So The first C is critical thinking. So we have to motivate our children. We have to promote critical thinking in our children. Now, what do we mean when I say critical thinking? It means the process of analyzing, the process of questioning, the process of filtering. Teacher comes, says, or parent has told something, ये ऐसे होता है. तो अब ये ऐसे क्यों होता है? That is critical thinking. The children should question. And mind you, uh, you must have read it earlier also. I believe in it. The child who questions more learns more. So questioning is the art of learning. Motivate questioning techniques. And I'm sure now when the kind of textbooks we had, and now the kind of textbooks we have now for our children, there are open-ended questions. There are stories which are open-ended. That promotes critical thinking. There is no end. There are no happy endings now that a thing happily ends and they live happily ever after. It is, you can give your own end. And that is why we have such activities like Tale with a Different Tale. And, as teacher, I, as an English teacher, I've been doing it in my class so many times, you give them a story, any story, which we have heard, Lion and the Tiger, or Sun and the Wind, or any story. And you tell them, all right, children, this is the end the story already has. Now you have to give it a different end. And friends, you will be amazed of the creative thinking of your class. Try it once and tell us. If we happen to meet again, tell us, or at least write it down somewhere. Language teachers especially, anybody can do it. But then language teachers especially, give your class an old story, which as children we have learned from our dadis and nannies, and tell them, now this is the end the story has. Now I want another ending. Think, what else could have happened? And you will be awestruck with the response you get. So that is another C, critical and creative thinking. Now, friends, collaboration is important. As you must have heard it before also, that an individual can work. मैं अपने हिसाब से कभी भी कैसे भी काम कर सकती हूँ. But teamwork, collaboration is important. Teaching children collaboration. You have to give them the skill of organizing or utilizing their knowledge in a way to create a new outcome collaboratively. So there are many exercises, there are many crosswords, puzzles for collaboration. You can try them in your class. The most important, according to me, one of the most important rather, is communication. So whatever way you communicate with, communication has to be done. Communication is the key. So to present the information you have in a concise and meaningful way. It requires careful listening, definitely, and articulating your thoughts. But then communication has to happen. That is the need. How the way you want to communicate is a different thing. Coming to the next is character. Now, character is important, as you know. Character education is of immense value. In fact, in today's scenario, it is of prime importance. You have to build the character. It is our commitment to our children that they have to be responsible, they have to be caring, they have to be contributing towards the society. The society cannot function without value. So, character is very important. We have to impart values. And remember, my dear friends, values are not taught, they are taught. Never ever, you tell your children whatever you want to tell. Let's say we tell them we have to be punctual, we have to be on time. But if we are late, we can never teach them the value of punctuality. So we have to be, it is our duty to portray what we want to convey. And the last C of 21st century classroom is culture and citizenship. We have to, it is our responsibility. We are responsible for our culture and community. So we have to keep it alive. We are responsible for everything that surrounds us. It is our responsibility to take care of our culture, our surroundings. We have to be empowered. We have to be responsible. So, are the thumbs still up? Teachers, I can see the cameras are turning off. Are the thumbs still up?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Everyone, put your thumbs up. Cameras
Thank
on.
you so much. Thank you so much. You know, when I was speaking, there was a point I thought I'm talking to my own self. So I hope everybody is listening. Keep the chat box vibrant, friends. All right. Moving to another important point. Monica ma'am has already touched upon it. Just a quick recapitulation, friends. When you make toys for your children, or when you ask your children to make toys, you have to be very careful about the age. See, if you tell a 6-year-old कि ना कुछ बड़ा सा साइंस का एक्सपेरिमेंट टेस्ट ट्यूब लेके करें, the child would not be able to. Similarly, if you tell an older child to make a small, very small toy, the child would not be interested. So it is important that you take care of the age and the difficulty level, whether you're doing puzzles with the children, whether you are asking them to make toys related to their chapters, whatever. But then it has to be taken care of. Another thing, friends, experiential. From past many years, although the theory of experiential learning is age old, I think it came in 1976 for the first time. But for last few years, it is talk of the town sort of thing. Experience se learn karna, to learn through experiences. Gone are the times when we would read books, learn answers, vomit them out in the exam. Now, to teach is to show them experience. There's a famous saying that you show me, I'll forget. You tell me, I'll forget. You show me, I might remember sometime. But then, if you make me do it, I'll never forget in my life. And that is a thumb rule of a 21st century teacher. And believe me, friends, as teacher, I can say it is not difficult. You just have to take your children out to experience. So, it is just that when you're, let's say, a science teacher is teaching air to a class 5 child, you can go to the class with, in fact, you can go, you're teaching air, you can go to the class with a balloon, or you can ask children to get balloons from their homes. They can blow the balloon, and you can tell them that air surrounds us. It can take the shape of whatever thing you fill in it. You can ask you can ask your children to get a rough paper, a paper which is already used or redundant, or a newspaper, and you can ask them to make an aeroplane. The children would love it, they will love you for that activity, in fact. And you can ask them to fly. And believe me, your entire class will be full of planes flying from here and there. And it is going to be such a lively classroom. And then you'll have to actually tell them to stop. And they will learn another property of air. Air helps in flying. And the age-old experience, which I still remember, you can raise your hand if you remember from your childhood. There was this experience, the science teacher told us to get this candle, and a beaker was arranged from the school. And we were taught that air is necessary for combustion. So how many of you remember? Remember this from our childhood? I still remember.
Yes,
So,
Bharti.
yes. So, thank you so much for affirming.
Hands
So,
up.
friends, you
Bharti,
are, Hanji,
there are 2 persons who have raised hands.
raised
Meenakshi
hands.
Kapoor,
Yes, please.
you want to say something? Meenakshi Kapoor, ma'am, please feel free to say something if you want to. Meenakshi Kapoor, ma'am, you've raised your hand.
Ma'am, maybe they're just affirming that they remember.
It's been quite a long that she has raised it, so I was observing it.
Acha, okay.
Doesn't matter, we'll wait. आप continue करो.
Acha ji, ठीक है, thank you. And the examples are endless. Let's say you want to teach plants. Why don't we go out to the school garden? You can teach them the kinds of leaves, you can teach them the kinds of plants, you can teach them photosynthesis and whatnot. And the children would wait for your class. So we will come back to experiential learning in the second half of the session later. Now moving forward is another very important thing, dear teachers, that is interdisciplinary. From past few years, we have been dedicatedly doing interdisciplinary in our classes. For example, let's say we have to relate one subject to another. Let's say you're doing water, the concept of water with class. Just as I told you before, the concept of air, you can walk into your class with a balloon. Similarly, a science teacher can walk into the class with a glass of water. You can teach them solubility by putting salt or sugar in it. You can teach them, the maths teacher can teach them the volume, the measuring units of water. SST teacher, in fact, we have this activity done in our schools, which I'll be sharing with you in the later half of the session, tributaries of River Ganga. So such other things, this is the way you can relate your lessons. And languages, it is needless for me to mention that languages, you can pick up any topic and languages go bang on. You can do creative writing on water. There are so many poems available on water. Then there are chapters on water, and you can ask children to write on importance of water. They can, if an arts teacher is here, you can make them draw. You can make them draw any scenery or anything, a rainy season or which they can draw and probably form a story or probably write something on that. So interdisciplinary, connecting the subjects with each other is of immense importance. So the chat box is not thriving. May I request everybody to please give me a thumbs up. The chat box should be thriving. It should keep vibrating. So that gives us a feeling that, we are not talking to the walls and fans. We're talking to people. So moving to the last.
Value education also when we are talking about water.
Absolutely.
Mentioned in the chat box by, let me tell you the name. From Rashi Dikshit ma'am.
Very, very nice, Rashi ma'am. That's amazing. Yes, you can. Value education is the backbone. It's the primary support of any subject. Now, teachers, we are going to talk about domains of development, also how toys help. How toys help in identifying problems, in solving, let's say, you give a puzzle to a child, and believe me, you don't even have to. You stand at a distance and watch them. You will not have to intervene in between. You give a puzzle to a child, the child will try to fit in one piece, then another, and if he realizes that the puzzle is not, he's not able to form the puzzle, then he'll remove, then he'll put it again. Then that is the concept of problem solving. That is how children learn problem solving. So development of all kinds happens when children perform with toys. So we are going to touch upon the domains of development in the second half of our session. And it is so nice talking to you. That time is running out. Let me quickly come to the next slide. Children are not only maintaining their health and well-being physically, but also mentally and emotionally. They become effective communicators. They have this ownership. They become engaged learners, they connect with the environment, they feel responsible. And that are the values we can give them through choice. Monica ma'am, I hope you're taking care of the chat box.
Yes, ma'am, I'm checking. I'm
Friends,
looking
as
at
you can see, Hanji, thank you, ma'am. As you can see, the picture on the screen, there are these children who are trying to form something with the clay. And I want to bring to your notice here, teachers, that this is not the clay we purchased from the market. We told our children to get the clay, actual clay from their homes. We even arranged in the school, they actually made the dough using water and they made their own toys. Now, as adults, when we do something, that's the kind of ownership children have when they make their own toys. And toys break hote hain, फिर दोबारे बनते हैं, फिर break होते हैं, but the children learn the value of patience. They learn the value of patience. They learn forming, deforming again and again. So children are introduced to their own culture and to the Indian culture. They start taking pride in their own identity. And we are going to talk about indigenous toys now, which give them emotional satisfaction because, they see the figures they've seen growing up. They can easily connect with them. And games are very popular, unlike the games, and friends, I also feel that, it is very easy to go to the market and buy a nice shiny toy for your child. But then, don't you think it is more important and it requires a little extra effort to form it for your children or to aid your children in making that toy? Trust me, that is going to keep your children engaged for longer duration. Dear friends, I would request you to stay on mute now. Just on my screen, friends, these are a few pictures I took from my toy bank, the toy bank in my school, which our children have made. So, as you can see on my screen, Monica, ma'am, somebody's unmuted.
request all the participants to please stay on mute. It would be really appreciable and we can all concentrate.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Rashi, ma'am. Thank you so much. All right. So for putting in your comments, your feedback, and that shows your involvement, and believe me, it's motivating. So thumbs should be up. So as you can see on the screen, friends, these are the puppets our children have made that connects them to our times. The puppetry, our age-old puppetry. This is the game you can see. Snakes and ladder, which instead of purchasing from the market, the children have made themselves. And these minions you can see, these class 1 and 2 children, they enjoy. So they made their own minions. And this is just a glimpse. The toy bank is huge. So these are our indigenous traditional toys. We are going to learn about them now. So moving to the next slide. Okay, I have a question for you, as you can read on the screen. Let me read it out for you. There's this parent, Shyotika, who goes to the market and buys an expensive toy for her daughter. And after removing it from the box, she gives it to the child with a warning that you have to handle it carefully, do not break it. So the toy had rounded corners. The child could not feel much. And then, she had this bag in her mind that she has to be very careful with it. So she could not throw it. She could not do it whatever she liked. It did not smell anything, did not taste anything. 3 minutes flat. The child left the neatly rounded plastic toy in the corner and then she was playing with the box. Now she knew that she can do whatever she wants with the box, but she would not be scolded. From her viewpoint, the little girl had made an intelligent assessment of the toy. I want to know from you, teachers, that what should be the belief after seeing the child discarding the expensive toy? Please type your answers in the chat box. We're waiting. What do you think? What would the parent, as a parent, as a teacher?
Yeah, please feel free to express yourself. We are waiting for your responses. We would really love to see the responses. Yes, Rashi ma'am is saying she was liking it anymore.
Okay.
Any more responses? Anyone, please? Please feel free. We all are teachers, we all are colleagues, we all are sailing in the same boat.
Actually, we all are parents.
Actually, ma'am, at first, we should not buy any expensive gift for the children. Whatever easily available, that is main thing. And second thing is, if we are buying a toy for the kid, then we should allow her or him to play toy. That is the purpose to give them toy.
Absolutely.
And by enjoying only,
Absolutely.
they will learn many things, and whatever topic we are discussing today, everything will be possible.
Absolutely, friends.
In the chat, Bharti ma'am.
The child was liking the box more because she could do anything with it. All right. Beena Nigam, ma'am, could you please read out? I'm actually sharing my screen.
Playing.
Ma'am says she felt free to play. Okay.
Beena ma'am is saying playing with the box is more exciting for her.
Absolutely.
Then we have Shikha Pathak ma'am should be happy to handle it their way.
Absolutely.
And, more of them, most of them are saying she was free to play any way she wanted. And Kanksha says she needs to give her easily available toys. As we said that we should not buy expensive toys.
Absolutely. Absolutely, ma'am. They know everything. Don't you think so, Monica ma'am? So we are here to discuss them.
Yeah, just one more. Supriya ma'am was saying the child was liking the box more because she could do anything with it, but not with the toy. Yeah, so that's what you told. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, friends, this is about ownership. Thank you, Shraddha ma'am. The toy is not comfortable. All right. So, that's what it is, friends. The toys are for us to enjoy. The toy has to give us the ownership that it is mine. I can use it the way I want. So, I would again reiterate on the fact that toys are for the children. The children are not for the toys, right? So I suppose, Monica ma'am, are we running late?
Yes, Bharti ma'am, it's just 5 minutes.
Just give me 2 more minutes. I'll finish this. All right.
Then are you continuing with the story or?
No, Monica ma'am, you would be, because I have to call somebody to meet them for the I did not want to break the surprise, ma'am. All right. So, children, Monica ma'am, teachers, Monica ma'am has already talked to us about selection of indigenous toys. Just a quick recapitulation. The toys have to be aligned with Indian culture and ethos. As you can see, हमारा पुराना सांप सीढ़ी, हमारी सारी puppets, कठपुतलियां, हमारे डमरू, और हमारी इतनी सारी चीजें which have lost somewhere. We want them to come back to our children. धरोहर है हमारे बच्चों को पता होना चाहिए कि ये होता था. So, the toys should connect with the regional culture to get the ideas of culture of the region. They should be suitable to the age and development and safety of the child. Now, there's some games and toys which are evergreen. You know, I, as an adult, still love to play snakes and ladder with my child. So they're evergreen. Now, teachers, although I know Monica said they are running late, but then I want to know from you, at least some of you, can you think of some popular game from your state? कुछ याद आ रहा है जो बचपन में देखते थे? Yes, ma'am. Present government is Shraddha, ma'am. It is promoting the game. Gilli Danda Rashi, ma'am. Yes, absolutely. Anything else? किसी को याद आ रहा है? बोल मेरी मछली, कितना पानी, स्टापू, गिप्पी. Yes, elastic.
I have
All
played
right.
Elastic so much, PVPS, Gadawara. I love this Elastic game. And I used to play at home alone with my chair, is
Me
my
too.
partner, and enjoyed a lot.
Actually, and Rashima Poshampa, I remember. I remember Poshampa, bhai Poshampa. पिट्ठू कबड्डी ऑल राइट हाइड एंड सीक हाँ छुपम छुपाई भी मुझे बहुत याद है वाओ
I
वाओ
think these
दैट
are
वाज
all favorites for all of us because we all are mostly in the same age groups.
actually we are mostly of the same age group few might be younger than us or
Like Peach ka papda, then tippy tap. We all
हाँ
used to
जी
the
हाँ
cane,
हाँ
help. बहुत
Langri tang. I am reminded of Langri tang. We used to play a lot और बैलेंस बनाना इतना मुश्किल हो रहा था आम छुरी छप्पन छुरी yes 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 absolutely Sankhli all right all right I can remember I was watching this serial वो आता है ना अहिल्या so उसमें वो संखली खेलते हैं वहां मैंने पहली बार देखा कि ये महाराष्ट्र का गेम है and I really liked it. Kit Kit,
Yeah.
Deepak Kumar says Kit Kit. All
Very,
right,
very, very
ऐसे तो I can
interesting.
speak to you for days and days, friends. Let us, Vikas Kumar says Kanche. I can imagine Kanche, Vikas ji. All right. So, just to wind up this session, as you can see on the screen, friends, there is this classroom. This is one of our classroom, and these children have made this pipe which they are blowing, and this is a kind of musical thing, and it makes noise. और ये इतने खुश हो जाते हैं जब ये एक दूसरे के कान में आवाज करते हैं ना they love it. So joyful learning. Toyful learning, joyful learning. So it is child-centered. These children are, yes, Madanji, it is a traditional game. Thank you. So this is, joyful learning. It's child-centric, activity-centric. It's a play-way approach. कितनी अच्छी बात होती है ना जब हमें बच्चों को ये नहीं कहना पड़ता पढ़ो 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 सीखो सीखो सीखो. They do it and they enjoy it. Something, you learn while enjoying it, there's nothing like it. And it is an all round development. All right. So, again, few more slides. Toy hai, to joy hai. It includes everything. It includes everything art, toys, games, music, dance, drama, storytelling. Children love it. And as adults, and I can vouch on that, friends. As teachers, when we do it with children, we also like it. That is a class which is not tiring. That's a class from which we come out smiling. Happiness is contagious. आप किसी को हंसते मुस्कुराते देखते हो तो आप कितने भी दुखी हो ना आप मुस्कुराने लगते हो. So when you come out of a class where children are laughing with joy, jumping with joy, you automatically come out as a happier person. All right, this we've already done. Popular game from your childhood. So, Monica ma'am, over to you. I have to go and get somebody who wants to meet them for a storytelling session. So, over to Monica ma'am for a wonderful, enriching storytelling session. I'll stop sharing, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Friends, I hope I did not bore you.
अब आपको हम और बोर मतलब आई डोंट थिंक बोर किया बट अगर किया है तो और नहीं करेंगे तो थोड़ा सा ये पीपीटी से हट के वी टेक द सेशन फर्दर आई रिक्वेस्ट भारती मैम टू स्टॉप प्रेजेंटिंग भारती मैम प्लीज स्टॉप योर प्रेजेंटेशन भारती मैम
हाँ जी मैम एक मिनट मैम मैं करती हूँ
प्लीज
आई विल स्टॉप प्रेजेंटिंग सॉरी मैम हो गया
हाँ जी डन So can I have cameras on and can I see some expressions that अब हम ज़्यादा theoretical में ना जाके what is the further हम आपके लिए क्या surprise लाए हैं like I am going to narrate a story I have got some friends and puppets with me and I'll try to make an effort that I can make you happy and furthermore you can make your children happy. So are you in for this? How is the Josh? I want to know how is the Josh.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am.
You ready? Just give me a second to bring my friends
Yes,
and
ma'am.
puppets with you,
We are
and
ready, ma'am.
then we will start. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
So this was Bharti was talking. I will be using both the languages. कुछ इंग्लिश कुछ हिंदी स्टोरी में कंटिन्यू करूंगी.
बिल्कुल मैम, हिंदी टीचर भी बैठे हैं.
मैं हिंदी में भी बोलूंगी, मैं इंग्लिश में भी बोलूंगी. Is it comfortable to everyone? तो please put in the chat.
We are more comfortable.
यस मैम, बोथ लैंग्वेज कंफर्ट.
बहुत मजा, मेरे हिसाब से बहुत मजा आने वाला है. बाकी आप लोग मुझे बताओगे. यू मस्ट बी, मेरे बहुत सारे मेंटर्स होंगे जो मुझसे बड़े हैं, कुछ मुझसे छोटे हैं, कुछ मेरे बराबर हैं. सो आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू मेक अ लिटिल एफर्ट. ये टॉय शेकर है जो हमने खुद ही बनाया है. इन द नेक्स्ट सेक्शन आई विल टेल यू व्हाट ऑल वी हैव डन थ्रू द टॉयज, व्हाट हमने क्या बनाया, कैसे बनाया. अभी हम एक स्टोरी नरेशन देखते हैं. इट इज अबाउट लिटिल एनिमल्स एंड माय लिटिल गर्ल निराली. दिस इज आवर लिटिल गर्ल निराली. ये एक स्कूल गोइंग गर्ल है. शी इज गोइंग टू द स्कूल और इसका ना एक फ्रेंड है जो ना बहुत ही शरारती है. हेलो एवरीवन, आई एम राजू. कैसे हैं आप सब? मैं तो चला स्कूल. राजू और निराली दोनों स्कूल से वापस आ रहे थे. इट वॉज देयर नॉर्मल रूटीन. दोनों इकट्ठे जाते थे और इकट्ठे आते थे. दोनों BFFs थे, बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स थे. मगर ये जो राजू है ना, ये थोड़ा नॉटी और शरारती है. और निराली है हमारी स्वीट सी क्वाइट गर्ल. ये निराली को बहुत तंग करता है. राजू मत करो. मगर राजू जब तक किसी को तंग ना करे, राजू को समझ ही नहीं आता. ही इज अ लिटिल एक्टिव चाइल्ड. सो दोनों आ रहे हैं स्कूल से वापस. एक आगे एक पीछे, एक आगे एक पीछे. मेलोडी इन माई हार्ट, आई वॉक फ्रॉम द स्कूल. ला ला ला. Melody in my heart, I walk from the school. La la la. चलते चलते राजू ने लगाया एक थप्पड़ और लगा निराली के हेड पे. और निराली लगी रोने. मम्मा, राजू मुझे बहुत तंग करता है. शी वॉज ट्राइंग टू कॉल मम्मा, बट वहां तो कोई था ही नहीं. और राजू ने देखा निराली रो रही है. वो तो आगे 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 भाग गया. और निराली बेचारी रोती रोती, मम्मा ये ट्रबल्स में, आज मैं घर जाके मम्मा से शिकायत लगाऊंगी, ये बहुत तंग करता है मुझे. और वो चल पड़ी धीरे 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 जंगल में और जाके एक कोने में बैठ गई. और वहां पे चुप हो गई. क्या देखकर? उसने देखा कि वहां पर एक बहुत सुंदर बड़ा सा हाथी राजा है. आई एम बिग एंड स्ट्रॉन्ग, आई हैव ट्रंक सो लॉन्ग, आई डोंट नीड एनीवन, आई डोंट नीड एनीवन. हेलो अप्पू. आपको पता है इसका नाम है अप्पू. और अप्पू है तो बहुत सुंदर. देखो कितना सुंदर हाथी है ये, प्यारा प्यारा सा. इसका कलर देखो, इसकी सूंड और टांगे देखो, इसके सुंदर सुंदर दांत देखो. और इस हाथी अप्पू को बहुत प्राउड है अपने ऊपर. ये ना किसी को अपना फ्रेंड नहीं बनाता, थोड़ा नखरे वाला नकचड़ है. अब होता क्या है, निराली देखती है इतना सुंदर हाथी मैंने तो कभी देखा ही नहीं. तो वो धीरे 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 बोलती है, हेलो हाथी, मेरा नाम अप्पू है, मैं हाथी नहीं हूं, मैं अप्पू हूं. ओके अप्पू, विल यू बी माय फ्रेंड? नो 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 नो, आई एम बिग एंड स्ट्रॉन्ग, आई हैव ट्रंक सो लॉन्ग, आई डोंट नीड एनीवन anymore. La la la. And he started moving in the jungle. तभी वहां पे आई एक छोटी सी चिड़िया. चिड़िया ने बोला, अप्पू मुझे तो बना लो अपना दोस्त, मैं यहाँ बैठूंगी तुम्हारे साथ। नहीं, I am big and strong, I have trunk so long, I don't need anyone anymore। तो बेचारी चिड़िया जाके बैठ गई। फिर आई छोटी सी हमारी हनी भी। हाथी, अप्पू मुझे तो बना लो अपना दोस्त, मैं तुम्हें मीठा मीठा शहद लाके दूंगी। नो, I am big and strong, I have trunk so long, I don't need anyone anymore। तो बेचारी बीवी नाराज होके उदास होके बैठ गई। फिर आया हमारा कुत्ता 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 है। उसने कहा, मुझे तो बना लो अपना दोस्त। नो, I am big and strong, I have trunk so long, I don't need anyone anymore। फिर आई छोटी सी बिल्ली, म्याऊ म्याऊ करती, अप्पू मुझे तो बना लो अपना दोस्त। मगर अप्पू जी तो थे अकड़ू और नकचड़े, उन्होंने तो मना कर दिया। फिर आई बकरी, मैं करती, अरे मुझे बना लो। सब लगे थे हाथी अप्पू को मनाने कि बन जाओ तुम हमारे दोस्त, मगर हमारे हाथी जी तो थे, I am big and strong, I have trunk so long, I don't need anyone anymore। फिर भी बेचारे छोटे छोटे जानवर लगे थे मनाने अप्पू को अपना फ्रेंड, लेकिन ना तो वो किसी का फ्रेंड बनना चाहता था, बस वो अपनी मस्ती और अपनी सुंदरता को एंजॉय कर रहा था। तभी आए हमारे गधे राजा, अरे अप्पू अपना दोस्त बना लो, बहुत सारे काम करूंगा तुम्हारे। नो, मुझे नहीं चाहिए, आई डोंट नीड एनीवन एनीमोर। तो निराली बड़ी हैरान थी, इतने सारे दोस्त बनना चाह रहे हैं और ये किसी को दोस्त नहीं बना रहा। और एक मेरा दोस्त है राजू जो मुझे रोज तंग करता है, पर मैं तो उसको कभी नहीं छोड़ती। तब थोड़ी देर बाद और बहुत सारे लोग इकट्ठा हुए, बहुत सारी सभाएं हुई कि हाथी को हम अपना दोस्त कैसे बनाएं। तो देखो छोटे छोटे एनिमल्स एफर्ट करने आए हैं मिलने हाथी राजा से। फिर से आ जाओ हाथी, बन जाओ तुम हमारे दोस्त। लेकिन हाथी जी तो हैं अड़े। ये देखो सबसे पहले आया जिराफ, छोटी सी हमारी पिगी, हमारा स्नेक और एक छोटी सी हमारी तितली। अरे हमें तो बना लो अपना दोस्त। नो, I am big and strong, I have trunk so long, I don't need anyone anymore। तभी क्या हुआ, राजू आया कुत्ते कुत्ते, अरे निराली कहाँ हो। और वो था मस्तखोर, आ रहा था हाथों में लेकर सारे कंकड़ पत्थरों को हवा में उड़ाता हुआ। निराली ने उसको आवाज लगाई, राजू मैं यहाँ हूँ, तुम ऐसे कंकड़ और पत्थर मत फेंको, किसी को लग जाएंगे। मगर राजू कहाँ किसी की सुनने वाला था, उसने कंकड़ उछालते रहा। तभी एक कंकड़ उछला और गिरा हाथी की आंख में। मेरी आंख में क्या चला गया। हाथी बहुत परेशान चिल्ला रहा था, अरे मेरी आंख में कुछ चला गया, कोई तो मेरी मदद करो। हाथी का तो ना कोई दोस्त था, ना कोई फ्रेंड था, ना उसने बनाया था, क्योंकि I am big and strong, I have trunk so long, I don't need anyone anymore। तो कौन आता हाथी की मदद करने। लेकिन जब छोटे छोटे जानवरों ने इसकी आवाज सुनी तो धीरे धीरे चिड़िया आई उड़ते उड़ते। क्या हुआ अप्पू, क्यों परेशान हो रहे हो। तो मेरी आंख में कुछ चला गया है, मुझे बहुत दर्द हो रहा है, मैं क्या करूं, मेरी मदद करो। अरे इसीलिए तो बोल रहे थे कोई दोस्त बना लो तो कोई मदद करने आएगा। अब तो सब डरे बैठे हैं तुमसे, क्योंकि तुमने सबको भगा दिया है। देखती हूँ मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ। And she flew and went तभी वो आया वहां पे हमारा छोटा सा ब्रूनो। उसने लाके दिया हाथी को पानी। तो हाथी ने सूंड से पानी उठाया, अपनी आंख में डाला और मलने लगा। अरे नहीं नहीं, पानी से तो कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, मुझे तो बहुत दर्द हो रहा है। अरे मेरी कोई तो मदद करो, कुछ तो करो। तो चिड़िया गई उड़ते उड़ते मधुमक्खी के पास और उसने कहा, मधुमक्खी रानी थोड़ा सा मुझे शहद दे दो, मुझे अप्पू की मदद करनी है। कौन अप्पू? अभी तो मैं गई थी अप्पू के पास दोस्त बनाने, उसने तो मुझे भगा दिया, मुझे नहीं करनी है उसकी मदद। अरे नहीं नहीं, उसकी आंख में कंकड़ चला गया है, वो बहुत परेशान है। तुम मुझे थोड़ा सा शहद दे दो, मैं उसकी आंख में डालूंगी और उसकी आंख ठीक हो जाएगी। तो बेचारी मधुमक्खी तो पहले ही छोटी सी प्यारी सी, उसको दया आ गई और उसने चिड़िया को शहद दे दिया और चिड़िया उड़ चली, उड़ते 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 आई और उसने हाथी की आंख में चोंच से कंकड़ बाहर निकाला और शहद टपका दिया, जिससे हाथी की आंख ठीक हो गई। अरे वाह, ये तो बहुत अच्छा काम किया। अरे मैंने तो अच्छा काम किया, अब तुम भी एक अच्छा काम करो, अपने दोस्त बनाओ। दोस्त होना बहुत जरूरी है। You are big and strong, you have trunk so long, but you need people around. फिर धीरे धीरे सब आने लगे हाथी के पास और हाथी ने भी गाना शुरू कर दिया। I am big and strong, I have trunk so long, and I need everywhere around. I am big and strong, I have trunk so long, and I need everyone around. And that is the end of my story. अब आप मुझे बता सकते हो कि हम इस स्टोरी से बच्चों को क्या क्या सिखा सकते हैं। इसमें बहुत सारी शिक्षाएं हैं, इसमें बहुत सारी परसेप्शंस हैं और हम बहुत सारी अप्रोच लगा सकते हैं, इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी भी कर सकते हैं। बट अब यहाँ पे मैं आपसे इनपुट चाहूंगी। यू गिव मी आइडियाज कि हम क्या कर सकते हैं। पहले व्हाट वाज द मोरल, व्हाट वाज द स्टोरी टॉकिंग अबाउट? यस, यूनिटी, वेरी नाइस। फ्रेंडशिप, we can't stay aloof in this world, we have to be social, we have to be a social animal. हमें सबके साथ दोस्ती करना बहुत जरूरी है। Strength, sympathy, wonderful. Thank you everyone for giving the feedback and the responses. Yes, no one is small. एक छोटी सी चिड़िया भी हमारे मदद कर सकती है, एक छोटी सी मधुमक्खी भी हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा काम कर सकती है। अब इसमें आपने देखा हम एनिमल्स को कैटेगराइज करवा सकते हैं। अगर हम इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी की बात करें, वैल्यू एजुकेशन हो गई, देन वी यूज दीज एनिमल्स लाइक डॉग एंड आई यूज दिस बोट, then I use this donkey, so we can talk to them about farm animals, and we also talked about these hare and jungle animals kaun se hain, they can categorize through the story. So children are going to learn, we should not hurt, we should be compatible. Then their eating habits you can take further. Isme about Nirali and this boy, he was being naughty, तो उसको हर्ट कर दिया उसने, निराली को भी और एनिमल को भी। Here we can tell children that they have to be very cautious when they are playing with their friends, and we also have to show empathy towards animals. Normally we don't, बहुत सारे बच्चे या बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जो एनिमल्स को हर्ट करते हैं। Here we can give this message. So yes, value education is there. We can talk about the behavior, we can talk about discipline, we can talk about friendship. And here we are having a girl and a boy, so gender sensitivity के बारे में भी हम बात कर सकते हैं. So there are lot many things which we can teach through one story. One story can give a number of messages. One story can help us to incorporate all the subjects. इसमें we can have the story again. We can tell children to revamp the story, think out of the box, bring a new ending. So language development भी हो सकती है, हिंदी में भी करा सकते हो, इंग्लिश में भी करा सकते हो। मैथ्स का लेना है कंसेप्ट, तो नंबर ऑफ एनिमल्स काउंट करा लिए, कितने ट्रंक है उसकी, कितनी उसकी टीथ हैं। तो नंबर कंसेप्ट फॉर क्लास 1 and 2 आप यहाँ पे इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकते हो। सो देयर आर मेनी थिंग्स which one story can help us to do in the class. And this story, they are not even realizing that they are being taught. They enjoy so much. Whenever we conduct a story session, we all know the story का जो classroom का जो environment है वो बदल ही जाता है. It's just एक्सप्लेन नहीं होता. जब आप बाहर निकलते हो, एज भारती सेड, यस वी आर जॉयफुल. उस दिन वाकई सेटिस्फेक्शन मिलती है. आज हमने कुछ बहुत अच्छा किया बच्चों के साथ. जब आप घर पे पहुंचते हो तो पूरा दिन अच्छा मूड रहता है. जिस दिन क्लास में कुछ कम काम होता है या आप थोड़ा मूड खराब करके आते हो तो अच्छा नहीं लगता है. आई एम श्योर आप सब एग्री करते हो. लेकिन अगर कोई ऐसी एक्टिविटी जो बड़ी फ्रूटफुल रहती है हमारी क्लास में, तो हमारा पूरा दिन अच्छा जाता है. एक कॉन्शियस माइंड में एक सेटिस्फेक्शन होती है, हाँ वी डिड जस्टिस टू आवर जॉब्स. सो दैट इज व्हाट वी आर लुकिंग फॉर इन द क्लासरूम. हैप्पीनेस, स्टोरी टेलिंग, वैल्यू एजुकेशन, interdisciplinary approach, critical thinking. Now here you can put open-ended questions also कि इसकी क्या एंडिंग हम और बदल सकते थे. क्या होता अगर एलिफेंट नहीं बनाता अपना फ्रेंड किसी को, उनका इस बारे में क्या पर्सपेक्टिव है. सो वी कैन हैव, हम पूरा ट्विस्ट एंड टर्न कर सकते हैं इसमें. That is my part of story. Now over to you, Bharti. Before breaking up, we have to be a little fast.
Thank you, Monica, ma'am. And thank you, teachers, for a grand response. You keep us alive, you keep us going. All right. So now, ready to meet my guest? So I have with me Nani to narrate a story for you. And the story, I'm sure you're going to love it. So here we go. All right.
That's really good.
So here is the Nani. Chum, 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 chupam, chupai. देखो, देखो, नानी आई. साथ मिलाई पॉकेट खिलौने, हर दिन नई कहानी लाई. छम 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 नानी आई. Chum, 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 chum. So this Nani can sing. This Nani can tell you a wonderful story. Hello. Hello, everybody. आ गए आप सब? Monica, ma'am, is your screen still shared? All right.
No, I have not shared my screen.
All right, all right, all right. So, okay. So, hello everybody. आ गए आप सब? Welcome to नानी की कहानी. आओ, आओ, नानी की कहानी शुरू होने वाली है. आज सुनाएगी नानी पंचतंत्र की कहानी. छम 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 सुनो कहानी. तो आज मैं आप सबको सुनाऊंगी पंचतंत्र से मेरी फेवरेट स्टोरी. अब नाउ you would ask me, अब ये पंचतंत्र क्या है? What is Panchatantra? So friends, Panchatantra is a collection of old Indian short stories about animals, plants and nature through which we can learn so many things. आज से 2000 साल पहले पंडित विष्णु शर्मा ने संस्कृत में इन सभी कहानियों की रचना की थी 3 राजकुमारों की अच्छी शिक्षा दीक्षा के लिए. And these stories were divided into 5 books. And that is why they are called Panchatantra. और आज मैं इन्हीं में से सुनाऊंगी आपको अपने खुद के बनाए हुए puppets के साथ अपनी favorite कहानी. The name of the story is The Sun and the Wind. So once upon a time, there were two friends, the sun and the wind. हवा चल चल के सबको सांस लेने में हेल्प करती थी और सन चमक चमक के क्रॉप्स ग्रो करता था, लोगों को ठंड से बचाता था. एक दिन हवा ने बहस छोड़ दी, छेड़ी बहस, and they started quarreling. मैं ज्यादा ताकतवर. I am the wind, I breeze and blow. सन ने कहा आई एम द सन, आई शाइन एंड ग्लो। हवा ने कहा, मैं पूरी दुनिया में घूम चुकी हूँ, मैं ज्यादा पावरफुल हूँ। सन ने भी कहा, मुझे तो कहीं जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ती, जो जहां है वो मुझे वहीं से देख सकता है। इस पर हवा गुस्सा हुई। हवा ने कहा, तुम तो सिर्फ दिन में होते हो सूरज, मैं तो दिन रात दोनों में होती हूँ। सूरज ने कहा, तुम घूमो दिन रात, मुझे तो कहीं जाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, अर्थ ही गोल गोल घूमती है। और यहाँ तक कि सन भी, यहाँ तक कि मून भी अपनी लाइट मुझसे लेता है। सो मैं तो बहुत कंफर्टेबल हूँ। एंड सो द फाइट continued for months. They did not reach any conclusion. कई महीनों तक बहस चलती रही, वो दोनों लड़ते रहे, पर कोई फायदा न हुआ। आपको क्या लगता है, कौन ज्यादा पावरफुल है? एक दिन यूं ही लड़ते लड़ते हवा को एक राहगीर नजर आया। उसने देखा कि राहगीर ने शॉल लपेटा हुआ था। हवा को सूझा एक उपाय। उसने कहा, सन सन कम हियर, देयर इज दिस ट्रैवलर। इस ट्रैवलर ने शॉल लपेटा हुआ है, जो इसकी शॉल को उतार देगा वो ही ज्यादा पावरफुल होगा। The sun agreed. The sun said, okay, I am fine, I don't mind. तो तय हुआ कि जो शॉल उतरवा देगा वो ज्यादा पावरफुल होगा। तो सन गया और जाके बादलों के पीछे छुप गया, और हवा जोर जोर से चलने लगी। हुश 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 हुश। राहगीर को ठंड लगती गई। उसने हवा जितनी जोर से चलती, राहगीर अपने आप को ठंड से बचाने को और जोर से शॉल पहन लेता। एंड फाइनली हवा इंक्रीज हर स्पीड, और जोर से हुश हुश करके चलती रही। राहगीर ठंड से कांप के अपने शॉल को और कस के ओढ़ता रहा। विंड tried and tried, but the traveler could not remove. In fact, he would not remove his shawl because he was feeling cold. Finally, the wind got tired. It gave up. It gave up. वो थक कर बैठ गई। वो शॉल नहीं हटा सकी। जब सूरज ने दूर से विंड को देखा तो वो बादलों से बाहर आया। बादलों से बाहर आकर उसने कहा विंड को, कि क्या हुआ, थक गई? विंड अपना समूह लिए चुपचाप बैठी रही। उसने कुछ नहीं कहा। यह देख सूरज चमकने लगा, और जोर से चमकने लगा, और फिर राहगीर को गर्मी लगने लगी। राहगीर ने कहा, उफ, कितनी गर्मी, कितना तेज तापमान, सच हॉट वेदर, आई एम फीलिंग सो हॉट। और राहगीर ने अपना शॉल उतार दिया। हवा को समझ ही ना आया कि किस शक्ल से देखे और दिखाए सूरज को। सूरज मंद मंद मुस्कुराता रहा। उसने अपना ताप कम कर दिया और राहगीर अपने रास्ते चला गया। उसने अपनी प्यारी सी दोस्त विंड को पुकारा, और सूरज ने, विंड वॉज वेरी एम्बैरेस्ड, चुपचाप ऐसे करके झुकी और सूरज से कहा, आई एम सॉरी, आई एडमिट दैट यू आर नॉट पावरफुल, बट, और पलट के जाने लगी। बट सूरज ने कहा, विंड, हम दोस्त हैं, हम जैसे हैं बहुत अच्छे हैं, हम दुनिया के लिए हैं, हमें आपस में मुकाबला करना ही नहीं चाहिए। मुकाबला होता है तो कोई ना कोई तो हारता है और कोई ना कोई जीतता है, कोई कम होता है, कोई ज्यादा होता है। एंड फ्रेंड्स, कंपैरिजन is not required. It is fatal. It makes you less, it makes you more. So, सूरज ने अपने प्यारे से दोस्त को ये समझाया और कहा कि मैं हमेशा से तुम्हारा दोस्त था, हमेशा रहूंगा. We will always remain the best of friends. And since then, the sun and the wind are best of friends. दोनों और पक्के दोस्त हो गए. तो बताएं कैसी लगी कहानी सन एंड विंड की, नानी की कहानी.
Really loved it. बाकी सब बताएंगे.
बाकी सब बताएंगे.
His writing, it was in school syllabus, but imagined it in the way you beautifully narrated, Bharti ma'am. Wonderful, awesome, brilliant. Thank you everyone for being with us and for motivating
Thank
us,
you.
motivating
And
Bharti.
yes, before we disperse for a short lunch break, friends, if you see my the aids which I've made, I personally am not very good at art and craft, and you know what I've done? I had this fan. My daughter had this fan at home, so I made wind from this fan. If you can see, this is a fan. She uses it ऐसे ऐसे करके अपने आप को. So this is a fan, and I as you can see, there are eyes made up of white paper, black sketch pen, red wool, and lips, and this is the torch we all have at home. So that's just the face of sun, and when you have to make the sun look brighter, this is how you turn the torch on. So, as I said, the fundamental rule of toy-based pedagogy is no cost or low cost. You don't have to go to the market, you don't have to buy the expensive chart papers or material or craft material and then make them. No, you just have to arrange it. It has to be creative, it has to be interesting. I just tried to convey this to you. I hope you liked it, friends. And if you liked it, just imagine the thrill and excitement your children would feel. Thank you
Right.
so much.
So thank you everyone for being with us. Here we would
Okay,
like
Nani also has to go.
Nani, you just change your attire and become Bharti. Okay. We will be joining shortly again. There is no need for logging out. आप screen से हट सकते हैं and we can start again at 11. We were supposed to break at 10:30. हमने आपके 10 minutes ले लिए हैं. We are really sorry for that. But हम book stories में बह जाते हैं ना तो वो हमारे साथ हो रहा है. So
ठीक
it's a
है?
20-minute break. We
हाँ
will
जी,
start at 11.
right. We'll see you at 11.
कप ऑफ टी कॉफी जिसके बिना तो हमारा सर्वाइवल बड़ा मुश्किल है.
I swear.
Please everyone, you can take a break and join us again at
Thank you.
11.
Thank you, Bhanuji. Thank you so much.
Come, you can meet Dadi and you can meet more people after this session. We will be not taking theoretical much. We will be showing you what we did, how we did, what are we doing new. So have a tea, get geared up again for the next session.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Okay, Bharti. Thank
All
you. See
right.
you again.
Yes, Monica.
Okay. भारती हो गया? तू म्यूट पे है।
अच्छा मैंने खुद को
ये गड़बड़ है।
हो गया done?
उल्टा आ रहा है ना वहाँ
कहाँ
पीछे बैकग्राउंड देखो।
ये क्यों आ रहा है ऐसे?
बैकग्राउंड देखो टॉय वर्कशॉप
हाँ क्यों आ रहा है ये?
उल्टा आ रहा है।
इसको उल्टा रखो।
हैं? उल्टा कैसे रखूँ? ये तो उल्टा कैसे
उल्टा क्यों आ रहा है ये?
भारती
अरे
माइक्रोफोन
वीडियो
ऑन
खराब
है।
हो जाएगी।
हाँ
भारती माइक्रोफोन ऑन है।
कोई नहीं, जो वीडियो इन्होंने ही करी है।
भारती
एक फिर ये पिन
माइक्रोफोन।
हो गई।
क्या चाहिए?
उनको अब जो भूख सी लगी थी, कुछ देखते हैं ना। मुझे जस्टिन पॉल्स में देखो तो बहुत असर करती है।
ये तो रिपोर्ट दे दी यार, मैं पहले सर्कुलर चाहिए।
So welcome you back to the session. Hope you had a refreshing tea or coffee and ready for the next 2 hours to be with us. So may we start? Allow me to please present my screen, but before that I would like to have some hands up or thumbs up so that I can know everyone is there with me. Thank you, Bina ma'am. Can I have more thumbs ups or yes in the chat box that we are ready, because the strength is right now very less. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Shraddha ma'am. Thank you, BBPS Khargone. Supriya ma'am, ready. Seema ma'am, ready. Very good. Good to see that everyone is ready for the session. Yes, Ramdev ji, yes. Very good. Thank you, everyone. So allow me to present my screen and we are taking the session further. Here is the screen. Now in this session, we are going to talk about the learning outcomes and toy-based pedagogy. How can I use Bloom's taxonomy in my classroom? Taking it further, the task that is for you now is that you have to observe the next 2 slides which I'm going to show. Please observe them very carefully. Then we will discuss about that. Here is the first slide. Just observe it carefully. What is happening? The first slide on your screens. Please observe that. Now I am switching over to the next slide. Please observe it. I am taking you back again to the first slide so that you can easily make the difference, know it, compare it. See, this is the first slide. And this is the next one. So can you put in the chat box and tell me, was there any difference? Could you observe something which is different in the 2 slides, or it's the same routine? Can you put in the chat box and just tell us, was there any difference in the 2 slides or it is the same? Different, okay. Can you tell the difference? What did you observe? What difference was there? Children are more engaged in activity in which slide? Could you say that? The first slide, slide number 1 or slide number 2? The first one looks, Ramdev sir is saying, boring. Shraddha ma'am is saying, yes. I would like to have more responses. Let's be more interactive. We are on an interactive platform. Everyone can say anything and tell me. Dull classroom and interesting classroom, yes. Wonderful. One is teacher-centered and the other is child. Yes. Great. So, taking it further, thank you for the responses. The first one is a teacher-centric classroom where teacher gives instructions and expects children to obey her, to be disciplined, and the children are just listening while their teacher is speaking something. For them it is blah 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 going on. But in the next one, it is a child-centered classroom. Child-centric approaches are there. Teacher is providing learning opportunities and guides them with a range of meaningful learning. Teacher is providing learning situations that give children an opportunity to observe, to explore, to question, to experience, and develop their own understanding of various concepts. Here, children have taken the onus of the classroom. In a way, it's a flipped classroom, where child is taking the onus of the classroom, of the understanding of the concept. Here, the teacher in the previous one, teacher reads the textbook, or she speaks, or she writes questions and answers on the blackboard or whiteboard, and then the children are just copying them. That's the conventional way we all have gone through. At times, one child reads the textbook aloud and the others only listen. But in a child-centric classroom, the children participate actively. So the main focus is the participation of student, participation of child in different activities and tasks. Children construct knowledge and on their own, and based on their experience, they give the conclusions and they build the results and they take out the inferences. But in a teacher-centric classroom, teacher is controlling whatever happening in the class. The children's participation is minimal. Now we have to switch over to the maximum participation of the child so as to make our classroom interesting and lively. Children have to take the onus, they have to perform, they have to participate so that there is 100% engagement and we achieve the goal by using this toy-based pedagogy, or if we say it in experiential learning, whatever is the new name, but the focus is child's involvement, child's engagement, child's participation. Children, they don't look bored in this classroom. In the previous one, they look disinterested, distracted, but here the children are doing something. They're learning by their own experiences. And for this, we need to just facilitate. We need to just create their DIY areas. We just need to provide them with just a push we have to give so that they do the things on their own. Children are engrossed in what they are doing. Even assessments. The earlier one, assessment is just taken as a separate activity. But here in the student-centric classrooms or the toy-based pedagogy that we are going to incorporate, the assessment is going to be a part of the learning process. Continuous assessment. Child even doesn't know. अभी जैसे एग्जाम आते हैं बच्चे के पेट में दर्द शुरू हो जाता है, एग्जाम वाले दिन उसको घर जल्दी जाना होता है या एग्जाम से एक दिन पहले ही एंजाइटी शुरू हो जाती है बच्चे को. बट इन दिस सिस्टम, the new assessment pattern, this TBP, child doesn't know that he's being or she's being assessed and he's learning every day a new thing. So we have to shift the focus from a teacher-centered classroom to a child-centered classroom so that our classrooms are lively. There is chirpiness, that whatever is lost because of our assessment patterns and old age teaching norm, we have to change, bring the change. We have to be the change by using this toy-based pedagogy. Children's performance in the earlier one is repeated and it is given in the form of a report card. जो एक बहुत बड़ा टेंशन का दिन होता है, आज पीटीएम में रिपोर्ट कार्ड मिलेगी, मैडम पता नहीं क्या बोलेगी, बेचारा बच्चा डरता डरता स्कूल आता है या आता ही नहीं है. But in this, the children's progress is reported in a very qualitative terms and we are covering all aspects of development. The child is not fearful, but he or she is gaining confidence each day and becoming a different personality by doing these activities. This cone of learning, we all know, and Abhi Bharti also talked about this in a, like, I see and I forget, I hear and I remember, but I do and then I understand. So this cone shows what should be our ways of teaching. If as a human being after 2 weeks we are told to remember what is it that stays in our mind. If I have read something, just 10% will be there. But if I have heard something, maybe 20% I can retain. If I have seen something visually, then 30% can be there in my mind after 2 weeks. If I have watched a movie, वो तो हमें 50% तो याद होती ही है. कोई demonstration दिया, if I have looked at an exhibit, if I have seen a location, if I have done there, so 50% of what we see and hear is what is retained in my mind, I can still remember. If I have participated in something, in a discussion, or maybe abhi agar aap bahut interactive rehte ho, giving something, your inputs, so you will also retain 70% of what is being told to you. But if I've done something, I am doing a dramatic presentation or a role play, or I'm simulating the real experience, or I'm doing a real thing, 90% of it will be with me. I will not forget that. So we have to keep in mind this cone of learning, and we have to prepare our lesson plans and learning strategies accordingly. So this learning pyramid tells us that lecture method has to be just 5% role. Will not be there. जितना भी हम बोलते हैं सिर्फ retention 5% ही होता है. If I read, जैसे I just told, 10% ही मुझे याद रहता है. Audio visual मैंने सुना, कुछ मुझे 20% रहेगा. If I got a demo, 30% रहेगा. Participating in discussions and doing something, then maybe I can increase it to 75%. But if I facilitate learning of others, 90% will be retained. So as a teacher, as a facilitator, I just have to make my classroom lively. I have to take that onus that each and every child of my class participates in some or the other activities. Now, what I can do as an educator, I have to acquaint my students with their strengths. It can be done through surveys, interviews, but I have to get my children involved in that. They have to do the All About Me projects where they know what are they writing, what are their strengths, what are their hobbies, what are their weaknesses. Whatever has to be done by the child. They have to make presentations about self-interest. I can assure you, friends, this will create wonders in your classes. Then we have to diversify the lessons. We have to give the students multiple ways to access information. Not only will our lessons be engaging, but students will be likely to remember that information which is presented to them in different ways. Avoid the one-size-fits-all method of teaching and think about students' needs and interests. We don't have to forget the children with special needs. Our teaching system has to be inclusive. We have to take care of every child. That quote where if I tell a fish to swim and then I judge it, the fish will not be able to climb a tree. It can only swim. But if I'm telling a fish, chalo climb a tree, I'm going to judge you. Obviously, the fish will not be. So this we have been doing for so many years. One system and fitting it everyone in that. But one size cannot fit all. So we have to change that pattern. We have to really individualize the teaching. We have to individualize the methods so that every child can learn. We have to incorporate art in our lessons because this really helps children. They really get involved. We can nurture their growth by letting them express themselves in various ways. It can be a painting, it can be something musical. As Bharti told us, there are various kinds of intelligences. So our method of teaching, our method of making our students learn have to be different. Visual and performing arts must be integrated in scholastic teaching. As I'm sure we all did that Sikkim project, Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, where we were doing a lot of activities of different subjects, and we incorporated art in every subject so that children can perform better. And my children, it's my experiences, they loved it. They know now everything about Sikkim, जो पहले नहीं पता था. So we have to incorporate these performing arts and visual arts so that they can perform better. We have to stop labeling the students. By pigeonholing students, we deny them opportunities to learn at a deeper or a richer level. Labels can be very harmful. They discourage our students for exploring. They cannot explore, and they have a different way of thinking and learning. They have to develop their weaker skill. It is our responsibility as a facilitator to give them those opportunities. Now I request Bharti to please take over and just talk about Bloom's taxonomy. I'll stop my presentation here, Bharti.
Yes, thank you, Monica ma'am.
Just to give me a second, I'll stop it.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, friends. Before I share my screen, I want to ask you something. We all have children at home. I think females, we all are mothers, yes? And even if those who are not, you must have come across children. Now, these are, 1 year, 2-year-old children, probably 3. These children, they know what McDonald's is, right? You agree? जहाँ कहीं McDonald's का बोर्ड दिख जाता है, they know burger चाहिए यहाँ से. So, do you think they know the spelling of McDonald's? क्या पढ़ना आता है उनको? Chat box inactive हो रहा है. No. Atashi says no. तो कैसे उनको पता चलता है ये मैकडॉनल्ड्स है और यहाँ बर्गर मिलता है और यहीं लेकर जाना है? How do you think? Everybody says no, but any guesses?
They only recognize pictures.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know what? As Monica ma'am said, yes, everybody's saying Shobna, Madhuri, Shikha, Meenakshi. Everybody's saying yes. Shikha says symbol, sign. Rajshri Naik says sign, symbol, because they love burgers, right? All right. So, friends, you got it right. See, watching, looking at something is important. Children, most of them do not know the spellings, पढ़ना नहीं आता, but because इतना देखते हैं उसको, they look at it so much that they are able to identify that looking at the sign, ये McDonald's है, यहाँ लेके जाना है मम्मी को या पापा को और यहाँ से burgers लेने हैं. So that is what taxonomy, Bloom's taxonomy says, and that is what the 21st century teaching says. So allow me to share my screen and then we'll move further with the session. Just give me a moment, please. Now, again, you will say, ma'am, to BH में लेके चली जाती हैं जब देखो. So, Bloom's taxonomy. So, these are the godfathers of Indian education system. Not Indian, but for that matter, education system, which is prevailing. These are the ones who are the backbones, who have designed. So, Bloom's taxonomy says 3 domains: cognitive, affective, psychomotor. So, and these domains, they help the children to understand, remember, evaluate, apply, analyze, and finally create. Now, Bloom says that before a child understands the concept, he needs to remember it. जब तक remember नहीं होगा, वो आपकी memory में register नहीं होगा, आप उसको understand कर ही नहीं सकते concept को. Somewhere you need to have the image. So coming back to the symbol of McDonald's, teachers, the child somewhere has it in his memory. तभी वो after 3 years, 5 years, 6 years understand करता है, spelling सीखता है, probably draw कर पाता है. So you need to remember it. To apply your concept, of course, you need to understand it. Because अगर आप उसको बगैर समझे apply करते हो, then it does not hold any purpose और आप बहुत ज़्यादा लंबे time तक you're not able to sustain it. Then to evaluate something, you need to analyze. Good, bad for you. You first need to sit and analyze the yes or no, do's and don'ts, and then only you can go ahead with it. And then finally, to create something, a thorough evaluation has to be done. Whenever you are doing something, you have to create something, you have to analyze it a lot. Now, as Monica ma'am talked to us about Bloom's taxonomy, it begins from remembering, to understanding, to applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So, each domain, learning can take place at a number of levels, from simple to complex, from concrete to abstract. So the higher levels of pyramids are dependent. When you achieve it at the lower level, you can only achieve it at the higher level. So when I talk about knowledge, I talk about recalling the information of knowledge, which is the foundation of the pyramid. Then you remember it. You remember it, you are able to recall the facts, the basic concepts. And then, after remembering, registering it in your memory, you understand it. And when you understand, you're able to explain the ideas or concepts. And then you're able to use that information in any given situation. You're able to, once you know how to apply it, you become the master of that skill, then you start analyzing. You draw connections, you're able to differentiate, you're able to organize in your mind, compare, contrast, distinguish, and then the stage of evaluation comes. You are able to decide something, you take a decision कि मुझे यही करना है, and finally you're able to create it. Now it stands true for the smallest of things, it stands true for the biggest of things. Whether it is a competition you're preparing for it, whether it is a paper you're presenting, whether it is a debate you're taking part in, or whether it is a small classwork or homework. These are the stages. So, cognitive domain, intellectual skills, abilities required for learning. Moving to the next, it is affective domain. Affective domain is emotional response. Your attitude, your values, your emotional quotient, your appreciation for learning and motivating. It focuses on the ways in which we handle all the things related to emotions. Feelings, values, appreciation, as I said, your enthusiasm, your attitude. So again, the pyramid from the skills achieved at the lower level reaching to the higher level. So the first is when you receive, when you attend, you become aware of a situation and you give your attention to it. When you receive something, you respond. It is automatically, you respond to it, whether you want to participate, whether you want to leave the situation, whether you want to respond to it, whether you want to volunteer to it. Once you receive it and you respond, you value it or you devalue it. You choose to behave in a particular way you behave. Then you organize. You compare and contrast values and choices which begin in order. And you choose to commit to your behavior or values. And the last is when you characterize a particular thing. You act consistently due to an internal belief. You begin, you articulate, you form a philosophy, and you break down the complex situations and handle them according to your personal behavior. And the last is, if you can see this picture, this is the picture of an activity going on in our school. We call it a jump bunch activity. There, these children, they participate, and this is in fact a presentation on ability to use motor skills. So this domain talks about psychomotor domain. It includes physical movement, it includes reflex, coordination, developing techniques, and all this is in relation to your cognitive phase. For an example, let's say a ball, when you're catching a ball, it is not only your physical movement, it is your cognitive phase working at the same time, because the coordination is in accuracy and time. You have to catch the ball, the hand and the mind, the eye, everything moves at the same time. So you have to originate, you have to perceive what is happening, you have to set the goal, you have to do it in the calculated time, you have to respond, there is mechanism which is involved, and then you originate. So this was just a glimpse, according to Bloom's taxonomy, how you have to function, how you have to make the children function. And just as we talked about in the beginning, that when I was talking about the multiple intelligences, that has never to be forgotten. You have to cater to it, and you have to choose activities. You have to choose toys. And mind you, teachers, when I say toys, it does not mean toy only. It means games. It means all your activities. It means collaborative learning. So everything has to be chosen, taking into consideration. So with this, I would stop sharing my screen and request Monica ma'am to take over for her next session. Monica ma'am? All right. I know, Hanji ma'am, Monica ma'am, would you take over for your presentation now?
Yeah, sure. So हो गई अब बहुत सारी presentation. So now coming over to the action. अब हम आपको कोई presentation नहीं दिखा रहे. अब जो हमने अभी तक अपने बच्चों के लिए toys या games create किए हैं, I will just like to give you a glimpse of that. बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, बट जो बेस्ट हम आपको दिखा पाएंगे इतने टाइम पीरियड में, दैट वी विल बी वर्किंग ऑन. I will be sharing toys and games for the classes 1 and 2 because I have been catering to that age group for past 15 years. And Bharti ma'am will be catering to a little 3, 4, 5 वाला age group. So अभी मैंने आपको दिखाया था सब.
Monica ma'am? I think there's some technical glitch.
Sorry, there's a technical
Hanji,
glitch.
we could make out, ma'am.
I'm very sorry, and I'm really appreciate my audience to be with me and bearing with all the glitches. Thank you so much. So here is my first toy. जो सबसे पहले मैंने आपको दिखाया. This is the sound shaker. इसमें मैंने क्या किया है? I've taken 2 glasses, disposable glasses आपको मिलते हैं. उसके अंदर मैंने थोड़े से घुंघरू, थोड़ी सी दाल, ग्रीन मूंग साबुत दाल, I have put in that, और उन दोनों glasses को बंद करके just taped it and decorated with some wool, some beads, some tapes and colored paper. You all can see. Sorry, I don't know, technical glitch हो रहा है. This is the sound shaker. Then I showed you this. सबसे पहले मेरा सुंदर हाथी राजा. I narrated my story with this, and you can see this I have made with an envelope. जो हमारे shopping bags होते हैं, envelopes होते हैं, उससे हमने ये animals create किए हैं. This is first a big one, the shopping bag, जिसके अंदर हमने ears लगा दिए, उसका ट्रंक लगाया, उसकी सुंदर सुंदर आईज लगाई और एक ब्यूटीफुल पेपर लेके हमने अपने हाथी राजा को रेडी कर दिया. आई एम जस्ट शेयरिंग सिंपल टीचिंग एड्स अभी. उसके बाद आई विल बी शोइंग यू सम गेम्स आल्सो. सी, आई कैन पुट माय हैंड इनसाइड and this is my toy is ready. If you do this in class, it's easy. Children can manage it and they can make it, and when they do it and when they take the honors, they really enjoy it also. They make a lot of stories and do it with interest, and they are completely engaged in these activities. Then again an example of this paper bag only. This is a paper bag and I have made the king of the jungle with this. You can see this is a paper bag, and keeping it folded, we have added the face, ears and the limbs, and it's looking like the king of jungle. I think I am able to show it and you all can see. I'll just rotate it so that everyone gets an idea what we did and how we did. See, this is a simple paperback turned into the king of jungle. Okay. Now moving further, coming over to the language. Language teaching is a big problem to teach English or anything other than the mother language. So for that, we have created simple games using low cost material, or you can say no material. See, this is a game which we have made for rhyming words. I hope I am able to show it properly. Here the child will be asked about any word like pen I have given, and here he has to find out from this bundle there are many words written. अपना जो word हम उसे देंगे उसको वो ढूंढना है. Like bun, then here you can see. Then if I have given pen, तो उसको दो rhyming words he has to find out. He has to match it. So in a games way, only in an interesting manner, the child is learning rhyming words. Then another English game which I have made is this. To teach nouns, right? Here on the chart we have made 4 pockets: name, place, animal and thing. The child creates the slip, he writes something, whatever is in the mind, and puts it in this pocket. Uses the pocket, comes in one by one, we call them, and they put it in the pockets designed for them. Name, animal. In this way, the child is learning about nouns and is learning a new vocabulary. He's learning the spelling. So our purpose of teaching a language is served with this game also. Then this I have. This is an interdisciplinary game. You can see this is a board where I have written some numbers and it has a flag, right? So the child will come, choose the number. The child says like 1. So we will open the curtain and we have written Delhi. Now the teacher can ask, what is Delhi? It's a proper noun, common noun. Yeah, which is the capital of India? You can ask multiple questions. And for numbers, you can ask what comes after, what comes before. You can teach the concept of even and odd. So there are multiple things which you can do with this simple game. Here I have written common nouns and some proper nouns. So the child will raise the curtain. The name of this game is Raise the Curtain. They get so enthusiastic whenever they are told to raise the curtain. Ma'am, I'll do it, and they come. They don't even know that we are teaching them numbers and nouns, and they are enjoying it. It's a simple game which we have made with a cardboard and just taken some pieces of paper and those slips that we use, fluorescent wali. It has become attractive and the children are learning also properly. Now allow me a second to show you some Hindi games. This is our Matra Peti. You all can see. Now what is a Matra Peti? What we have done is we have created all matras on a stick. We have done like this: U ki matra, A ki matra, then E ki matra. You all can see this. Then all matras we have put on a stick. And what is the strategy is you write on a board any akshar, and then you can tell the child to put it and read. Which matra is this? The child will speak. उसको बहुत मजा आता है जब आप ऐसा कुछ खिलाते हो, बोर्ड पे लिख दो और मात्रा साथ रख दो. They enjoy it. या आपने pronounce किया ku, choose the matra. So they take this peti. The monitor is made for this matra peti in the classroom, and that monitor is boasting of, I have this peti. तो आओ मुझे चौकोपाई दो और मात्रा निकालो. So this is also a game. They are learning their language and they are enjoying also. They really have fun. We have did this activity in our classes. They really enjoy this matra peti and they form different combinations. जो आज तक हम मात्राएं बच्चों को सिखाते हैं, लेकिन कई बार ये देखा है कि छोटा ऊ बड़ा ऊ, क और ख, ग और घ, ये डिफरेंस बच्चे नहीं कर पाते. But इससे they are learning and they are able to differentiate between the matras. And I'm sure you all can try and it will give you good results. Then we have made some Here are the stick cards which we have done for this ling badlo. See, I have this ladka, then ladki, then sher, sherni. Here we can also talk about कि शेर का मेन है और शेरनी के नहीं है कोई भी बाल. So they are able to make out through the pictures and through this. Then we have मुर्गा एंड मुर्गी. मतलब लिंग बदलो जो हम क्लास 1 and 2 में ये टॉपिक्स हैं जो हम टच करते ही हैं, सभी कराते हैं. So we can use make little teaching aids and they will enjoy and we are doing and they are enjoying. मोर एंड मोरनी. भाई मोर के तो बड़े सुंदर सुंदर पंख हैं हमारे और मोरनी के नहीं होते हैं, तो इनसे हम उनको सिखा पाते हैं. Now I can show you some games for maths which we have designed. I have this board game. सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम आती है हमारे बच्चों को बिफोर करने में. तो what we have did, यहाँ पे देखो आप, this is a match box being used. और अगर आप इसको इस साइड निकालोगे तो 49 के बाद क्या आता है 50. और अगर आप इसको इस साइड से निकालोगे what comes before, so you have 48. So this is a game made for before and after. You can see on each box there are 2 numbers written, one on left side, one on right side. It's just simple game, but it makes wonders when we are teaching after and before to them, which they find a little difficult. After तो बहुत आसानी से कर लेते हैं, but before में उनको हमेशा प्रॉब्लम आती है. So by this game they are able to learn, they enjoy, they take part. जिसको थोड़ा सा भी कम concept आता होता है वो भी आगे आ जाता है. Ma'am, let me try also. So this is a way of making them learn. This is the magic of toy-based pedagogy, that we are using something for making them learn. Then I'll show you. Now we have made this out of an eggshell tray. जो ये खाली बचती है हमारी eggs की trays, हमने इस पे कुछ numbers लिख दिए हैं and we use this little puppet कि वो jump करके जिस number पे जा रहा है you have to tell कि वो even है या odd है, उसका आफ्टर नंबर क्या है, इसका बिफोर नंबर क्या है, एट टाइम्स बिटवीन नंबर क्या है. सो ऑल द नंबर कंसेप्ट्स आप इससे रिलेट कर सकते हो, कोई भी सीक्वेंसिंग करा सकते हो एंड इट इज जस्ट सिंपल, लो कॉस्ट नो कॉस्ट. एक एग ट्रे से हमने बना दिए हैं कुछ नंबर कटआउट्स. एंड देन आई हैव दिस गेम ऑफ एडिशन. दिस इज अ बास्केट. ये हमारे बच्चों को सिखाने के लिए एडिशन. आई हैव एडेड 2 कप्स. इसमें आप देखो ये कप्स, इसके अंदर छेद है, हैज बीन एम्प्टीड. सो व्हाट वी कैन डू, अब यहाँ एडिशन सिखाना है. सो यू कैन टेक एनीथिंग, लाइक हियर आई हैव टेकन न्यूट्रेला चंक्स. आई गिव द चंक्स, लाइक आई टेल 3 चंक्स डालो, बच्चे ने 1 2 3 डाल दिए. नाउ पुट 2 मोर फ्रॉम हियर, 1 एंड देन 2. नाउ हाउ मेनी डू यू गेट, इसके अंदर जितने हैं 3 + 2 का एडिशन हो गया. सो 3 + 2 is 5. You can use any combination, you can use any material, they will enjoy. You can have buttons, you can have rajma seeds, you can have macaroni. They enjoy it also and they are learning addition also. इसके अलावा आप डोमिनोज से भी कर सकते हो, आप स्लिप्स बना सकते हो. 5 और 4 करा है, एक में 5 डाला, एक में 4 डाला. नाउ नीचे चला गया, how many are they? They will count and they will tell you. So they are remembering the counting also and they are learning addition also. And another game in the form of a maze or a puzzle. Excuse me. डाइस है, यहाँ से शुरू करके आपको पहुंचना है ऐड कर करके टू योर डेस्टिनेशन, जो हम सब ने अपने बचपन में भी खेला है. You all can see that. Now one more I'd like to show. Just give me, allow me a second. Now to teach the concept of greater and less. See, I made this from a box. एक box को काट के आधा. See this. We have made an alligator. जिसका मुंह खुल रहा है, बंद हो रहा है. and we can teach them greater than, less than का concept using this. They really enjoy जब उनको पता है कि ड्रैगन मुंह खोल रहा है, बड़ा नंबर है, उसी के पास जाना है, तो they are able to understand in a game way what is being taught to me. And it's a simple thing, waste box था जिसका हमने एक बना दिया है greater or less का symbol. Then I have this. Where children have whatever number, a partner comes and points out. The other partner has to tell the before and after numbers, even and odd ka concept. And if I ask them to skip something, they have to just tell that. So it's a way of teaching maths. Any method, any game you can use. Then I have something for EVS. This, we made the food pyramid. We were teaching them sources of food, bodybuilding, energy food, then protective foods. So this is made by a child only. All categories, pictures. On one side, it is representing the food pyramid. What kind of diet should I take? With this, the child knows what is to be eaten, what is to be avoided. It's written my food pyramid. The child has only devised what the child will eat, what child would like to have in his diet every day. This way, the child also knows now what is to be eaten. Awareness भी हो गई, पढ़ाई भी हो गई, concept भी बता दिया, मजा भी करा दिया. Then for EVS तो हमारे पास बहुत कुछ है. अब ये simple this Raju which I showed you, इसमें कुछ नहीं किया, एक कप लिया है, 3 होल्स करे, एक ऊपर 2 नीचे, स्ट्रॉस डाले, स्ट्रॉस को टाई किया, ऊपर एक फेस लगाया, मूविंग बन गया राजू. I've done nothing, but this character is in my class everywhere कि राजू एक नॉटी बॉय है, हमें उसकी जैसा नहीं बनना है. तो everyone tries to be very disciplined. मैम देखो मैंने ये नहीं किया. Whenever they do something, I bring Raju for them. अच्छा, तो राजू से सीखा तुमने. Then we have this again. हमारे पास बड़े बड़े पॉलिथीन्स भी होते हैं, बैग्स भी होते हैं, उससे भी हमने बनाया है ये एनिमल्स. बहुत ही सिंपल है, बच्चा घर से कटिंग करके लाता है, इस पे पेस्ट करता है. 1 and 2 child can do it very easily. Now we made something from this खिलौने वाला and socks, whatever was used. ये देखो आप, एक सॉक्स लिया, उसको हाथों में डाला और हमने क्या किया है, अंदर एक फोल्डेड कार्डबोर्ड बस यूज किया है और मेरा ड्रैगन रेडी हो गया है. ऑल ऑफ यू कैन सी दिस. दिस इज माय ड्रैगन हैविंग अ, और मैंने कुछ नहीं किया है, एक सॉक्स ली, उसके अंदर मैंने एक कार्डबोर्ड डाला फोल्डेड और यहाँ पे 2 टंग्स लगा दी, ऊपर आंखें लगाई, मेरा ड्रैगन इज रेडी. इजी टू मेक, इजी टू होल्ड, बट द थिंग इज व्हेनेवर वी आर यूजिंग पपेट, हमें बस इस चीज का ध्यान रखना है दैट पपेट्स फेस इज इन फ्रंट ऑफ ऑडियंस. अगर मैं ऐसे बात करूंगी, हाँ मैंने ड्रैगन बनाया, तो आपको कुछ समझ नहीं आएगा. वी हैव टू ट्रीट एज इफ दे हैव लाइफ इन देम. वी हैव टू टेक केयर दैट पपेट इज ऑलवेज फेसिंग द ऑडियंस, द चिल्ड्रन. मैं आ गया हूँ, मुझे तो बहुत डर लग रहा है इसको देखकर. क्या आपको लग रहा है जोश है ड्रैगन से भागने का दूर दूर? Thumbs up, thumbs down. How is the Josh? Okay, then I made this. ये देखो क्यूट क्यूट गुगली आईज लगा देते हैं हम. ये सब सॉक्स से बनाए हैं, बहुत सिंपल. वूल लेके हमने कुछ बाल लगा दिए, उसको अट्रैक्शन दे दी. जब एक हिलता है, बातें करता है, तो बच्चों को बहुत मजा आता है. ये देखो. Hello everyone. I am Goofy, and how are you? Are you enjoying the session? Are you loving the toys? Yes or no? Can I have it in the chat box? Are you loving it? Will you make it for your children? Will you tell your children to make these toys? Yeah or no? I want to know. Oh yeah. Okay, now what here I have did is, देखो, see this. I made a simple animal. पहले मैंने सॉक्स लिया और उसके अंदर मैंने उसको फेस दिया, Then what I did is, this is my dragon, but मैंने उसको एक सुंदर सी ड्रेस भी पहना दी है, तो थोड़ा ब्यूटीफुल कर दिया. ब्यूटीफाई करने से भी बहुत सारे चेंजेस. सिंपल एक सॉक्स है, उसके अंदर एक माउथ है, और नीचे एक मेरे पास क्लॉथ पड़ा था, उसी पे मैंने सर्कल्स पेपर के काटे, उसको पेस्ट किया, एक बो लगा दी, और मेरा ड्रैगन इज रेडी टू गो फॉर द पार्टी. टुडे आई एम गोइंग फॉर अ पार्टी. Oh yay! It's a party time. So lot many things we can make, and it's just little creativity, low cost, from waste, anything. A new world can be made. These stick drawings, stick puppets, any children have made it in the class only. They brought stuff, whatever was waste in the house, they got it from their mammas and they pasted, colored, and just pasted it on the stick. The puppet is ready. Now they narrate stories using it, and they have that post off every. पूरा दिन घूमते हैं अपनी सारी पुरानी टीचर्स, नई टीचर्स, देखो मैम मैंने बनाया है, सी मैम. when they take the onus, they enjoy. जब उनको लगता है ये हमारी क्रिएशन है, they have confidence, they self esteem. सब कुछ देखने वाला बहुत अच्छा नज़ारा होता है क्लास का, जब बच्चे खुद कुछ क्रिएट करते हैं. So this is the magic of toy pedagogy. This is the magic which we can do. ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं which I can show you. अब सबसे पहले मेरे पास ये है, ये मैंने एक ग्लव लिया है, और ग्लव के ऊपर I'll show you what I've done. इसको देख के बहुत मजा आता है क्लास में, पूरा दिन मस्ती की लहर होती है. Hello everyone, I am little tortoise coming to you. Will you say hello? I am little slow. I am little slow, but I am green, and I am be your friend. Hello, hello. So you can make it like this, and just walk it slowly as a tortoise walks. Children love it. और हमने कुछ नहीं किया है. We've taken a glove, put some circular paper लिया, उसको आधा काटा, उसको 3D शेप दिया और पेस्ट कर दिया, और यहाँ बना दी उसकी गुगली गुगली आईज, और उसके थोड़े थोड़े हमने बना दिए वेब्ड फीट. ये स्केल्स टू दी पेपर कटिंग्स. सो नथिंग वेरी कॉस्टली, लो कॉस्ट, नो कॉस्ट. आप भी कर सकते हो बड़ी आसानी से. अभी आई हैव वन मोर थिंग टू शो, द झुमकी व्हिच आई मेड. आई वांट टू शो दैट. Now this, I don't want to miss this. आप सिंपल एक सॉक्स लेते हो, बच्चों की बॉल्स जब बड़े बच्चे हो जाते हैं तो ऐसे ही पड़ी रह जाती है. सो आई पुट अ बॉल है, उसको टाई किया है थ्रेड से, नीचे सिर्फ एक स्टिक है, जो हम कुल्फी खाते हैं उसकी स्टिक्स बच जाती हैं, ये झाड़ू में से भी निकलती है. ये स्टिक लिया, ऊपर बॉल रखा, वहां से टाई कर दिया सॉक्स को पहना के, और साथ में दो उसके ईयर्स रबर बैंड से टाई किए हैं. यू कैन सी दिस. और ये रही उसकी मुस्टैशेस, उसका नॉट. एंड हियर इज माय किटी व्हिच इज रेडी टू टॉक, टू क्रिएट वंडर्स इन द क्लास. आप चाहे उसको हाथ पे डालो, चाहे उसको ऐसे ही पकड़ो. माय किटी इज रेडी. हेलो. तो इट्स नथिंग, कुछ नहीं है इसमें कॉस्ट. अब ये है हमारी झुमकी. इसमें हमने थोड़ा सा एफर्ट डाला टू मेक इट मोर अट्रैक्टिव. इसके अंदर भी क्या किया है, एक क्लॉथ लिया है, एक माला पड़ी थी पुरानी, कुछ ऊन के अंदर हमने प्लेट बनाया, 2 कलर की ऊनें ली, कुछ सामान राखियों से उतारा और इसको चिपका के इसके बाल बनाए. अंदर एक कार्डबोर्ड है जो इसका माउथ, और ये ऊपर आइज लगा दी. बन गई मेरी झुमकी. एंड दिस झुमकी इज माय चिल्ड्रंस फेवरेट. कुछ भी अच्छा करना है, कुछ भी मॉडल करना है, कुछ भी वैल्यू एजुकेशन देना है, my Jhumki comes and props in the class. She always keeps peeping at my children, and they know this, that Jhumki is watching us, so they try to be very good in front of her. They behave like this puppet has a life, because
Ma'am, I also love your Jhumki a lot.
खिलौने वाला चंपालाल, we met in the first session. This is our चंपालाल. अब इसमें मैंने कुछ नहीं किया है. See, I can show you. मैंने इसमें एक न्यूज़पेपर को रोल करके एक डंडा सा बना लिया, न्यूज़पेपर तो होते ही हैं, ठीक है, उसको रोल किया, उसके ऊपर मैंने फिर से बॉल लगाई, सॉक्स डाली, उसका फेस रेडी कर दिया। ये मेरे पास कोकोनट हस्क्स पड़े थे, मैंने बाल बना दिए दादाजी के, और ये मैंने उसको ड्रॉ किया। ये कुछ कपड़े ऐसे ही पड़े थे, कभी कभी कुछ कट पीस बच जाते हैं, उससे मैंने काट के उनका दुशाला, उनका कुर्ता, उनकी धोती सब रेडी कर दी, और आ गए मेरे चंपालाल जी। अब ये चंपालाल जी हमारे खिलौने भी बेचते हैं, ये चंपालाल जी हमारे दादाजी भी बन जाते हैं जब उनको कुछ सिखाना होता है। यही चंपालाल जी हमारी क्लास में सारी मॉरल एक्टिविटीज में पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं। द चेयर चैप्टर दैट वी हैव इन आवर इंग्लिश बुक क्लास 2 टीचर्स, वहां पे भी वी ब्रॉट इट हिम कि चेयर इनविजिबल चेयर थी, दादाजी के पास थी, तो वहां इन्होंने इसको रिलेट करवा दिया। वी हैव मेनी चैप्टर्स जिसमें से आप बहुत सारी चीजें रिलेट कर सकते हो। We have to incorporate them, we have to integrate them. That's our onus. Now मेरी सारे खिलौने तो मतलब सारे तो नहीं, बट काफी कुछ मैंने दिखा दिया है। बट नाउ आई वुड लाइक फ्रेंड्स कि आप जो जो चीजें कुछ यूज करते हो, यू कैन शेयर, यू कैन अनम्यूट, यू कैन पुट इन द चैट बॉक्स। वी हैव 6-7 minutes more for this session. तो आप भी मुझसे कुछ शेयर कर सकते हो, अपने आइडियाज दे सकते हो, मे बी कुछ कमी रह गई हो कहीं आइडियाज की, so you all can share, please. I would really appreciate that. If anyone wants to, please raise the hand, or you can put in the chat box if you don't want to speak out. आप कर सकते हो ऐसा. Yes, finger puppets. Finger puppets तो बच्चे बहुत enjoy करते हैं, जो मैंने आपको अभी स्टोरी में दिखाए थे. I'll show you again. वो भी finger puppets थे. ये हमने बच्चों से फूड मोबाइल्स भी बनवाए थे, जैसा ये बच्चों ने फूड कटआउट्स लिए, उनको कलर किया, उनको एक फेस दिया, और उनके फूड कटआउट्स रेडी हो गए। फिर हमने उनको उनसे ही कैटेगराइज करवाया, कौन सा बॉडी बिल्डिंग है, कौन सा प्रोटेक्टिव है, कौन सा तुम्हारा एनर्जी गिविंग है। सो इट वाज अ गेम इन द क्लास विच चिल्ड्रन एंजॉयड. Yeah, the concept of family, finger puppets. Yes, you can use ice cream sticks. They work like wonders. छोटी छोटी चीजें छोटे छोटे ही सामान से बनाई जा सकती है, जो हमारा कई बार तो ऐसा ही पड़ा होता है, हम वेस्ट यूज ही नहीं करते, तो हम वेस्ट से जो चीजें बना रहे हैं, हम एक नई दुनिया में ले जा रहे हैं। जो खिलौने बहुत पीछे रह गए, हमारी लकड़ी की काठी या एक तारा कैसे बनता था, लो कॉस्ट नो कॉस्ट, अभी आ गए हैं ये फैंसी फिशर प्राइज और पता नहीं कौन कौन से टॉयज, इनकी इतनी सारी वैल्यू है कि पेरेंट्स रियली फाइंड इट एट टाइम अ बर्डन. दिस बॉक्स, ये जो शादियों के आजकल इतने सुंदर सुंदर महंगे महंगे डब्बे आते हैं, वी कन्वर्टेड देम इनटू द बीट बॉक्सेस, कि बच्चे उसमें अपना सामान संभाल के रखते हैं, लूज मटेरियल उसमें है, लो निकालो बनाओ, एंड दे डू इट. इतनी क्रिएशन करते हैं बच्चे, उन वो दे लुक फॉरवर्ड, बिकॉज वी हैव फिक्स्ड वन डे फ्राइडे, दे लुक फॉरवर्ड फॉर दैट डे, फॉर दैट पीरियड. मैम कब आएगा फ्राइडे, मैम अब इस बार आप क्या करवा रहे हो, मैम कौन सी एक्टिविटी करेंगे. सो दे लुक फॉरवर्ड टू दीज सेशंस, एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी ऑल हैव टू डू इन आवर क्लासरूम्स, कि वो वेट करें कि अब क्लास में नया क्या होने वाला है, rather than making it boring for them. Thirsty Crow was narrated using a black dupatta and ice cream cone. Yes, मैंने कराया था मैम थर्स्टी क्रो अपने बच्चे को, उसने मटका तो टूटा हुआ पड़ा था, उसमें से नरेट करा था, वो भी बहुत अच्छी अमेजिंग क्रिएशन थी. मतलब इफ आई हैव द पिक्चर्स आई विल शेयर इन द ग्रुप, आई लुक फॉरवर्ड, लुक मतलब कि मेरे पास अगर वो पड़ी होगी तो आई कैन शेयर. उसकी मदर की क्रिएशन वाज लाइक बहुत ही अलग था. वो भी वी कैन डू एनीथिंग, यहाँ से क्रिएटिविटी लानी है, छोटी छोटी चीजों को ही हम किसी भी चीज में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं और उसको लाइफ दे सकते हैं बाय द नेम ऑफ अ पपेट और अ बडी. पहला काम है उस एसोसिएशन को अपनी क्लास में लाना, जो बच्चा अपने आप को उस पपेट या उस बडी से एसोसिएट कर पाए. लाइक दिस झुमकी, ये कुछ नहीं है, मगर बच्चों ने इसको सीख लिया है अपने क्लास में एसोसिएट करना एज अ गुड कैरेक्टर. और राजू जहां आता है उनको पता है कौन से शरारती बच्चे हैं, मैम किसकी अब बात करने वाली है. तो वो एसोसिएशन हमें अपनी क्लासरूम्स में लाना है, अपने बच्चों को उनसे जोड़ना है. दैट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट. एंड और आप लोग कोई सजेशंस देना चाहते हो तो इट्स वेलकम, यू ऑल कैन डू इट. आप सब एक्सपीरियंस हैं, मुझसे ज्यादा भी होंगे कुछ लोग, मुझसे मेरे जितने भी होंगे, सो वी कैन शेयर इट. इट्स अ शेयरिंग प्लेटफॉर्म. अगर आपको कुछ बताना है जो आप अच्छा कर रहे हो, यू कैन डू दैट. इफ एनीवन वांट्स टू, प्लीज volunteer for that. कोई आप जो लोग स्कूल में बैठे हैं कुछ शो करना चाहते हैं, प्लीज आप कर सकते हो. हमने रामायण एक्ट करी थी, ऐसे ही फेस मास्क बना के बच्चों से रामायण करवाई थी. वो भी बच्चों ने बहुत इंजॉय किया था और पूरी रामायण अब सबको याद है क्योंकि हमने उसको रोल प्ले की फॉर्म में करवाया था. दे ड्रामेटाइज्ड, उन्होंने मास्क खुद घर से बनाए थे, बहुत इंजॉय किया था उस सेशन को. So anyone would like to go? Otherwise, I'll hand over it to Bharti. So I'm waiting. If anyone is like want to say something, want to share something, आप कुछ कहना चाहते हो तो please do that. So sticker, hand puppets, stick puppets, finger puppets, yes, paper bag, boxes, anything. आप बहुत कुछ बना सकते हो. आप मोबाइल्स बना सकते हो, अपनी क्लास में हैंग कर सकते हो. अभी हमने टाइगर डे की, इंटरनेशनल टाइगर डे की एक्टिविटी कराई थी, बच्चों को टाइगर्स के बारे में बताया. दे हैड टू ड्रॉ इट, दे हैड टू कलर इट एंड दे हैड टू स्पीक अबाउट द टाइगर, व्हाई वी वांट टू सेव इट. यस, बीना मैम हैज रेज्ड हैंड. मैम प्लीज, वी वुड लव टू हियर फ्रॉम यू.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am. This is Rashi Dixit. Ma'am, we were using wind chimes to create, value-based wind chimes. So this we used in a very innovative way, जिससे बच्चे अलग-अलग values उस card में paste करते थे, and they were hanging. We used CDs, old CDs for that, matchboxes, and it was very nice.
Yeah, very good, very
And
good,
in
very
my class,
innovative.
ma'am, hello, ma'am. In my class, they elect their monitor in a constitutional way. I made big ballot box, and they cast their vote, and then they elect their monitor.
Very good. This is also very innovative.
विभिन्न नारे लेखन में
हाँ जी,
पूरी मतलब अलग अलग तरीके से सब, कोई रिबन में, कोई कांच में बनाकर, कोई हैंगिंग करके अलग अलग लिखकर लाना, ये सब करवाएगा.
we all have, see, we all are creative, we all have innovations.
जी,
इसको
जी,
बाहर लाने की जरूरत है बस. बच्चे तो वेलकम करते ही हैं इन सजेशंस का, उनको तो बहुत मजा आता है. वो जो कॉपी में एक लिखने का काम है ब्लैक बोर्ड से, वो उनको नहीं करना है. अब उनको कुछ नया चाहिए रोज, जिसमें हम टेक्नोलॉजी को भी इनकॉर्पोरेट कर सकते हैं. दिस वी विल टॉक इन द लेटर सेशन. अभी आई विल रिक्वेस्ट भारती मैम टू प्लीज टेक ओवर. भारती मैम, ओवर टू यू प्लीज. Are you there, Bharti?
Yes, Monica ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Such enrichment, friends. Such enrichment and such value addition using toys. So you had a glimpse of what Monica ma'am and in fact all of us have been doing in our schools, and you must have been doing too. So that was for children of classes 1 and 2. I'll take you to a trip for classes 3 to 5. So just give me a moment, please.
तब तक आप सब भी सोच सकते हो. वी वुड लाइक टू हियर फ्रॉम ऑल ऑफ यू. अभी इस सेशन के बाद इट विल बी एन इंटरेक्शन.
I'm. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, I am back. It was a glitch for a moment. All right. So, taking help of toys to deliver a lesson is one of the most joyful things for a teacher also and for a student also. So I'm going to show you a few videos also how we do in our school. But before that, I want you to see how we use them and what we use in our classes. So I am going to begin with this. This is Weave a Story. It is Weave a Story. Now this is, if you can see, it shows a scene of a garden. It shows the scene of a garden, and those of you who are English teachers here, they know that weaving a tale with a different tail, picture composition is an integral part of our English classrooms. So now when you show this to children, you can ask them to create sentences. Class 3 children can create simple sentences. For a short paragraph, 5 can make longer paragraphs using these things. Then we have this vocab game. This is a vocab game. The children play it through dice, right? So when this is now, teachers, I also want to tell you here that such games, these games are like very, very economic. We have not gone to the market to purchase anything. That is the fundamental rule of toy-based pedagogy. So these are the papers available to us, some small stationery items, cutouts, drawing basically, and you can see these buttons available at home and Fevicol. Also, I was telling you that this game can be played in any subject. It is, although I've named it as vocab game because I, as an English teacher, we made it personally for our subject. But then, if you name it something else, you can play it in any subject. So this is a vocab game. You play it with the dice. Now, whatever number comes, the child will move accordingly, and we keep adding the numbers to move ahead. And then, there is this questionnaire. The questionnaire we write, I have the questionnaires also. So we write questions. See, whatever number comes, let's say number 6 comes. So this is the question for number 6. The question says, I'm a flat boat made of pieces of wood tied together. If it is 2, I am an animal with saddle generally used in hilly areas. So such games, let's say you can even make it a game on nouns. You can make it a game on preposition, adjectives. You can address using pictures. You can show pictures to the children in a preposition classroom. You can make a picture with a table and a ball under the table, and the child will be asked to use a correct preposition to fill in the blanks. Then, moving forward, we have this Hopscotch game. Very famous and very interesting. This is an Hopscotch game, and this is a dice game again. Dice differently made for this game, and whatever number comes, let's say it is 4. The child is going to do like this. The number 4 says adjective. So adjective, now the teacher can ask any question based on adjectives. Similarly, I'm sure हमारे बचपन में हम सबसे ज़्यादा जो educational game खेलते होते थे, that was name, place, animal thing. So how many of you remember that? You can raise hands, you can type in the chat box. Name, place, animal thing. Hanji. Yes, Rashi?
Yes, ma'am, that's what. We used to play this name, place, and animal thing, 150, 25, 0 marks.
and there was another game. There was another way. I remember class में, I don't know if I should be telling this, but class में ना बैठकर और हर copy के पीछे name, place, animal thing की lines होती थी, and we used to play this. 2 games. One was name, place, animal thing. The another was this tic-tac-toe, जिसको हमारे time में हम लोग zero कांटा बुलाते थे. How many of you remember? वो भी हर कॉपी के पीछे होता था, और फिर जिस दिन घर में चेकिंग होती थी उस दिन डांट पड़ती थी कि ये करते हो क्लास में बैठकर. But then today as a teacher, I understand. Ma'am, there have other people have raised hand. Vinita. Seema ma'am has raised hand. Rashi. Pritirtha. All right, they've lowered the hand. Seema ma'am has not. Ma'am, is it, you want to say something, Seema ma'am?
No, ma'am, simply I was saying that I also remember. We used to play tic-tac-toe.
Actually, वो तो all time favorite होता था. एक मुझे, although out of context है, लेकिन एक मुझे राजा मंत्री चोर सिपाही भी बड़ा याद आता है. I don't know if today's children in our classrooms even know how to play these games.
Excuse me, I want to say that tic-tac-toe.
Most welcome.
I used to play in the class also, but instead of that circle and cross, I used to write down the division symbol, plus symbol, multiplication symbol, and I used to say to the students that choose any one square. And whatever the symbol they were choosing, so I used to ask the question related with that one.
That's amazing. That's amazing. As you must be teaching maths, ma'am. That's amazing. That's amazing. See, this is called enrichment and value addition. All right. Coming back to my noun game. So, teachers, I did not realize it then. Name, place, animal thing was a noun game. आप खिलवाओ बच्चों को ये and children without even knowing that they are mastering nouns, naming words. When you do these nouns with them, when you're teaching nouns, you can relate them in EVS. You can relate it with EVS, wherein you can take the nouns to our helpers. So that is how you can go interdisciplinary. This is how you can even integrate. So noun game. Then, if you're teaching adjectives, yes, Manisha, it helps in introducing naming words and nouns. Absolutely correct. So this is especially for class 3. Then, there is this one game which, as an English teacher, I always do with my children whenever I teach adjectives. I tell them, when I do it in class 3, I tell them to get a toy from home or make a toy for yourself in class using whatever you have. And they would create a boat or an aeroplane. या कुछ भी करके कुछ भी बनाएंगे. And then I tell, okay, now tell me 2 things about your toys. And believe me, बच्चे किसी ना किसी तरह से कुछ ना कुछ ढूंढ लेते हैं. And then, class 4, I tell them, all right, now this is your best friend. Think about him and write at least 2 to 3 adjectives, describing words for your friends. And believe me, at the end of it, they start fighting also कि तूने मुझे naughty बोला, तूने मुझे dirty बोला. Because then they look for adjectives. That is how. And when I talk of teaching aids and toys to teachers, I want to tell you that nature walks help a lot. When you take out your children, at least once in a week, when you take them out to the school garden or wherever open space you have in your school, just imagine the way they respond. आप उनको कोई भी concept पढ़ा सकते हो वहाँ पे. All right. So this was about English and integration with other subjects. Now, let me talk to you about this wonderful game our SST teacher was playing, and I picked it up from her. Now, this is Northern Plains. If you can see, this is Northern Plains, and if you can make out, she has taken this cardboard, and after taking the cardboard, I'll show you. After taking the cardboard, she has this paper cups she had. She cut them into half, and against each paper cup, on paper cup, she painted. She asked the children to paint it. And this is Punjab, this is Kerala, Bihar, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Assam, and Orissa. She made this. She made this and kept it on the table. And then after that, she prepared these. If you can see, these are little on an ice cream stick. She has made this. So now it says Kathakali. This one says Mohini Attam. This is Chhat Puja. This is Bhojpuri. This is Onam. And now after that, there are so many. If you can see, there are so many such things. Vishu, Bharatnatyam, Odissi, Bhangra. There's so many. And, all these are related to the states which this board has. So now what she does is she tells one child, I'll show you this in the video also. She tells one child to stand and hold this. And, there was this string also. The child would wear it over his head, and the children will come one by one and pick up one stick. Let's say Chhat Puja. Mere haath mein Chhat Puja aaya. So the child will come and put it in Bihar. This is how. The child will come and put it in Bihar. And Now, again, if I choose another one, it is, let's say, I'm not able to pick up, Pongal. So tell me which state is Pongal related to? Anybody? Which state is Pongal related to?
Andhra Pradesh.
Andhra Pradesh, Pongal.
Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu. So this is going to revise your skills also. And more than me, I'm sure you must be knowing it. So then is Litti Chokha. Litti Chokha goes
Bihar.
to
Bihar.
Okay, Ras Garba. Ras Garba goes to Gujarat. So this is how we play it, and believe me, when the game ends, the children feel bad. They want to play it again and again. And I want to tell you that this can go with any subject. This can go with any subject. You make the game, and these sticks can be made in Hindi. You can do it with Swar and Vyanjan. The other day, I saw it in one of the classes of Hindi. The teacher had made 2 sets of these sticks, Swar and
Yes,
Vyanjan.
ma'am.
Yes,
इसमें हम संज्ञा का भी कर सकते हैं.
कर सकते हैं,
व्यक्तिवाचक,
बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं.
जातिवाचक, भाववाचक
बिल्कुल
के
कर
लिए
सकते हैं.
अलग-अलग.
हाँ. And in fact, I personally, as an English teacher, I tried this in nouns. So, I made so many of these and 5 kinds of nouns. And then children came and put it in one class. So children really enjoyed, and believe me, my class would never go wrong in nouns again.
And I think it is not need to 1 to 5, 6, 7 classes also.
Yes. You're absolutely right, ma'am. But then, both of us are focusing on class 1 to 5 only because we are catering to that age group.
Yes.
Okay? So, then I'll show you another in the video. I saw that this teacher in SST was doing tributaries of River Ganga, and how she did it in such a nice way was that she told the children, she gave clay to the children, and then a long river Ganga was made through clay, and its tributaries, Gandak, Son, Ghagra, Yamuna, they all were made using different clays, and children enjoyed. So, coming to mathematics. See, these are the 2 different kinds of numbers. Okay? And these are the blocks. These were the blocks which were already available with children. I had asked for old toys, which were redundant. So one child came up with these blocks to school, and we all, the teacher with the students painted this and randomly wrote numbers. Okay. Then the game was played in the class, and it bore such wonderful results. What had happened was that 2 children were called. They were asked to roll the dice. So when they rolled the dice, one number here came 90, and here came 4. So 90 and 4, the child was told to multiply. The child multiplied there and then, so the number came 360. So there was this basket in which all these dices were kept. So in the basket, the child took the dice, took the block which said 360. He picked up all the blocks. He found 3 blocks which said 360, and he put the blocks. Again, 2 sets of children were called, and they again rolled the dice, 103. 300, the child picked up 300 wale slides and kept above it. So that is how this pyramid, this block was formed, and half the class made the block, and the other half again was called in the next period, and they dismantled the block. So that reiterated, that revised, or you can even do it as the initiating activity, the multiplication. Children could multiply there. They even, in fact, this game has all the numbers with 0. So the teacher explained beautifully the concept of multiplying with 0. So when 90 into 4 was to be multiplied, it was 9 into 4 basically. So the child understood that it has to be 0 has to be added. So 90 into 4, the child does not actually need to multiply 90. It is 9 into 4, 36, and the 0 is added. Ma'am, Sritika has raised hand, Monica ma'am. Sritirtha, Sritirtha, do you have to say something, ma'am? Sritirtha? No. All right. Another is children's favorite. It was made in the class. So it is called Tippy Tippy Top Top. So what happens in this is that, see, if you can see, everything is written here. The questions are typed here. Multiplication, addition, teacher has written. It says multiplication, properties of addition, properties of subtraction. So there is a variety. So now two children are, the children are called and they wear it like this and they do tippy tippy top top. This is how it is worn. See, this is how it is worn and it is tapped 2 times. So once when you topped, ये number आता है. So let's say I choose number 2. ठीक है? फिर मैंने इसको दोबारा tap किया, तो यहाँ पर आया 4 options आए. Properties of addition, subtraction, multiplication, or addition. So Dice says, let's say the child says properties of addition. When you open it further, it asks a question. So the teacher asked properties of addition ka question hai 100,000 into 50 millions. So this is what the child has to answer. So through this, you can recapitulate your properties of addition. Maths teacher, just in case you want to add something, maths teachers. I'm personally very scared of maths. So my chat box has again got silent. The maths teachers, I want to tell me whether this can be incorporated. Will it be easy for you to do it? Are there any maths teachers here?
Teachers,
Monica ma'am?
feel free to interact. Madhuri Singh ma'am has raised hand.
Hanji.
Madhuri ma'am, आ जाइए.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we can use the number cards also for making that addition, subtraction, or formation of the number. Like that, we have made a number card, 1 to 9 digits. 0 also we can make, and sometimes we have made 100 tens and ones places also in a number card, and then we can call the children to form the 3-digit number. So their choice, they can make like that, plus, minus, addition, subtraction, whatever they perform, they form the number by choosing the number card. So with the help of the number card, this will be useful for them.
Okay, okay. Anybody else who would like to give any input? All right then. Monica ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, teachers, I showed you the toys, but then I want to share this video with you. Hope you're able to watch it. This is how we do it in our classrooms. Ma'am, is the voice audible?
No, Bharti.
All right. See, this is what I already explained. This is I'll keep telling you what is happening because I am not able to share it with voice. So now the teacher is explaining here the game on synonyms. So the children have the synonyms and they are told they are given adjectives, they are told to write synonyms, at least 2 synonyms for one adjective. And they are going to frame sentences, if you can see. Monica ma'am, is there any way that I can share the audio also?
You can do it through your drive.
Acha ma'am, that the video isn't that long, it takes time. So I just wanted to give them a feel that this is how it is done in the class.
See, you can share this video in the WhatsApp group that we have created.
Acha, theek hai, I'll share that. I'll share that. So this is just a feedback. The child is saying that he enjoyed. See, this is the SST game, friends, I was telling you. See, this is how the teacher went to everybody to show. And that's how, they picked up and they placed in all the states. And here I want to tell you, what is this happening? This is an EVS lesson going on. And in this, the children have dressed up as various transports, the bus and school. And, these are the children who are waiting. The people are waiting to cross the road, but the transport is not waiting and they are not even respecting the zebra crossing. See, they are not able to cross the road. So, this is how children are told. True example. Now the traffic has stopped behind the lines and people could cross. Now this is a classroom and it has been converted into a bus. No property is used. And teachers, I am showing this what is happening in our school. And see, this is, in a Hindi classroom, children are solving a puzzle. This is the game I was talking to you about, dice. Maths class. So, actually, games help. Games help. So, this is all from my side. Anybody who wants to share anything what you're doing in your school, this is an enrichment session. So you feel free to raise your hands and talk to us what you're doing in your school, or what new thing you have brought, or what is it that you like doing with your children, and what is it that make you come out of the class with smiling faces, a contented heart. Feel free to talk, to interact. Yes, Madhuri ji?
Yes, ma'am. When we are teaching slanting line, standing line, and the sleeping line, so that time we are just standing students in front, and they are just make their hand straight. So we can say now it's looking like a person's hand is straight, so it is sleeping line. Now one kid will just raise the hand up, so it should look like a person is standing, so it will be standing line. So this way every children, those who are sitting, they are also making their hands like sleeping, standing, slanting as the instructions given, and they enjoyed this game very much.
Very nice, very nice. So anybody else for yes, Roy,
Yes,
Papri
madam.
Roy. Yes.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Anji.
I want to just add what Madhuri madam said. The same concept is used for teaching angles also. And for different type of angles, they are moving their hands or legs, means from the knees part, and they can show the angle concept.
Okay. So
That's all,
Mrs.
ma'am.
Roy, which branch are you from?
Madam, and Bal Bharati NTPC Sipat.
Acha, Sipat. All right.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else?
Thank
It's so
you.
wonderful interacting with you all. Shraddha ji. Hanji. You know, we don't happen to meet otherwise. We are in the same school rather. The tributaries are different. So it is so wonderful to interact with you all. Uh, Please talk to us. Feel free to talk to us. Good. Anybody else for Hindi? I have not interacted much on Hindi. I want Hindi teachers to talk to me. बताएं कुछ सो दैट हम भी आगे जाके भानु पद्मजा जी हम भी फिर अपने स्कूल के टीचर्स को आगे बताएंगे कि ये भी कर
जी
सकते
जी
हो.
जी जी मैम, ये जो दो दोस्त कहानी में जो बच्चों का है उससे मुखौटा बनवा के उनसे उस मुखौटे को पहन के वो एक्शन करके मतलब पूरा करवाई थी एक बार.
अच्छा
जो
अच्छा मैं
क्लासरूम में वो
अच्छा
असेंबली हॉल
अच्छा
के जो हम लोग का जो मल्टीपल हॉल है उसमें जाकर बच्चे किए.
वेरी
और
नाइस.
दूसरा जो है बच्चों की जो मनपसंद टॉय लाकर, आपने शुरू में कहा था ना वो
हाँ
मनपसंद
जी.
टॉयज लाकर उसके बारे में बोलना. तो कुछ बच्चे एकदम पुराने वाला लेकर, ये मेरे एकदम क्लास 2 के बच्चे मेरे बचपन का है मैम, देखिए इससे मैंने किया करके मतलब बचपन का
हाँ जी.
बोलना.
हाँ जी.
और उनके वीडियो जब रिकॉर्डिंग किए बाद में उनके वीडियो को फिर से हम लोग एडुकॉम के थ्रू उसको प्ले करके बच्चों को दिखाए. तो दे आर फील वेरी हैप्पी दैट ऑल.
आई नो टॉयज तो हैप्पीनेस टॉयज हैप्पीनेस का दूसरा नाम मुझे पर्सनली लगते हैं. दे मेक यू हैप्पी. हाँ जी.
एक्चुअली मैम हम अगर पढ़ाते हैं बच्चों को, अगर फर्स्ट तो हम खुद जान जाते हैं कि हम सेटिस्फाई बच्चों को करवा पा रहे कि नहीं. व्हेन दे आर इंटरेक्टिंग विद अस ना, जब वो हमसे करते हैं चर्चा तो उसी में पता चलता है कि बच्चे कितने अच्छे मतलब प्रेजेंटेशन उनका रहता है क्या है. तो ये
एक्चुअली जब आप
करवाते रहते हैं. जी जी
बिल्कुल. और पता है आप जब क्लास से निकलते हैं ना व्हेन यू लीव हैप्पी चिल्ड्रन बिहाइंड यू. बहुत बार डांट भी खाते हैं गुस्सा भी हम करते हैं बट जब एक कंटेंटमेंट से निकलते हैं ना हम व्हेन यू लीव हैप्पी चिल्ड्रन बिहाइंड यू देयर इज नथिंग मोर ब्यूटीफुल. देयर इज नो मोर नो फीलिंग एज ब्यूटीफुल एज दैट. तो शोभना जी बताइए. शोभना जी.
जी मैम, नमस्कार मैम. अभी अभी बाल भारती परिवार से जुड़े, ये मेरे लिए सौभाग्य की बात है मैम. इससे पहले हम जिस स्कूल में थे मैम, बड़े पैमाने पे मैंने एक कार्यक्रम करवाया था और शीर्षक दिया था वेंटिलेटर पर दुनिया, पर्यावरण वेंटिलेटर पर. मैंने बच्चों को ये सिखाया कि किस तरह आज हमारा पर्यावरण वेंटिलेटर पर है, आखिरी सांसें ले रहा है. और एक बड़ा सा पृथ्वी बनाया जिसको बच्चों ने पकड़ा और साथ में पेड़, खुद स्वयं बच्चे पेड़ बने हुए थे और कुछ बच्चे उसे काट रहे थे और पेड़ के आंख से आंसू बह रहा था और साथ में साइड से वहां पर बच्चे ही वक्ता भी थे. मैम ये कार्यक्रम इतने अच्छे पैमाने में चला कि हर जगह वाहवाही हो गई मैम. और एक वेंटिलेटर पर यह भी था कि अस्मिता एक पहचान वेंटिलेटर पर. नारियों का 9 दिन पूजा होता है, सम्मान होता है, बाकी के दिन बच्चियों के साथ क्या होता, मैंने इसे एक ड्रामे के रूप में और नाट्य रूपांतर करके मैंने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से सबको दिखाया था, प्रदर्शित किया था और लोगों ने सराहा भी मैम.
सराहने वाली बात ही थी. आपने इतना अच्छा मैसेज इतने हल्के तरीके से और इतने अच्छे तरीके से भिजवाया. मतलब आप, मुझे ऐसा लगता है पर्सनली आई हैव बीन टीचिंग फॉर गुड 16-17 इयर्स नाउ. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आप कितना भी बड़े से बड़ा गहरे से गहरा जो इशू होता है उसको प्रेजेंट अगर आप इस तरह से करते हैं तो वो लोगों तक पहुंचता है.
जी मैम, पेरेंट्स जो आए थे जब वो देखे कि वेंटिलेटर में अस्मिता एक पहचान नारियों का जो आज वेंटिलेटर पे है मैम, एक वेंटिलेटर पर टॉपिक के अंदर मैंने झांकी 6-7 प्रकार के दिए जिसमें पर्यावरण भी था, अस्मिता एक पहचान नारियों का भी था. जो पेरेंट थे ना मैम वो रोने लगे कि कैसे हम 9 दिन पूजा करते हैं और बाकी के दिन उनके साथ किस तरह छेड़खानी. और मैंने उसमें निर्भया कांड को भी, निर्भया केस को भी दिखाया और पेरेंट्स वहाँ खड़े खड़े रोने लगे. ऐसा लगा और वाहवाही मैम इतने बड़े पैमाने में हुई थी कि सारे न्यूज़पेपर में वो आ गया था मैम.
वेरी नाइस शोभा जी. वंडरफुल वंडरफुल. ऑलराइट,
वी शुड ऑल गिव हर अ राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज. ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है मैम, जो आपने जो चीज हमारी रोल प्ले या ड्रामेटाइजेशन कर सकती है वो हम नहीं कर सकते. तभी कहते हैं अ टॉय कैन नॉट सेव a life, but it can save a soul. एक खिलौनों की ये जो दुनिया है ये हमारी आत्मा तक को छू के जाती है.
इनफैक्ट इसी तरीके से छू सकती है, मुझे दूसरा कोई तरीका नजर नहीं आता. मैं तो कहती हूँ बच्चों को आप लिखवा दो डायलॉग्स, उनको याद नहीं होते, उनको बोलो बेटे रोल प्ले करना है, आप देखो याद करके आते हैं, अगले दिन सब लर्न करके आते हैं. सो मुझे लगता है रोल प्लेज और इससे अच्छा कोई तरीका नहीं होता. यस मिसेस रॉय, यू वांट टू से समथिंग मैम?
No, ma'am.
All right.
मैंने तो हाथ raise
Acha. Okay. Then we have Janvi. Janvi?
नमस्कार मैम.
हाँ जी जानवी, you're from which branch? Please बताएं कौन से ब्रांच से है?
मैम बाल भारती पब्लिक स्कूल रत्नागिरी से बात कर रहे हैं.
रत्नागिरी से, हाँ जी हाँ जी.
मैम मैं भी हिंदी टीचर हूँ प्राइमरी बेस में. तो मैंने अभी कुछ दिन पहले बच्चों को एक लेसन पढ़ाया जिसमें था कि हेल्दी ईटिंग के बारे में. तो मैंने उनको कहा कि आप लोगों को सबको कुछ स्कूल में बनाए प्रॉप्स, कुछ उनसे बनवाए, कुछ घर से आ गए, सबको एक एक मैंने वेजिटेबल या फिर एक फ्रूट बना दिया और उनको उसके फायदे बताने के लिए बोला. तो बच्चों ने बोला और फिर हमने पूरे स्कूल में मैंने उनकी लाइन बनवाई, उनको एक कविता बता दी कि हम ये बोलेंगे कि हमें खाओ सेहत बनाओ सारे रोग दूर हटाओ, ऐसे करके नारे लगवाते हुए मैंने पूरे स्कूल का राउंड लगवाया. हम क्लासेस में गए, एक सरप्राइज दिया सबको. सो सब लोग बहुत खुश हुए, इवन बड़े बच्चे भी, 10th क्लास भी, एवरीबडी वाज एंजॉयिंग. और वो बच्चे खुद इतने खुश थे कि हमारे स्कूल में फ्रूट ब्रेक और बच्चे जो है वो डेली फ्रूट्स नहीं लाते. अभी मैं देख रही हूँ कि रोज फ्रूट है और लाते हैं मैम, ये मैं ये लेकर आया हूँ और मैं अभी हेल्दी हूँ, मैं हेल्दी ईटिंग कर रहा हूँ. सो बहुत मुझे भी मजा आया करवाने.
जानवी जी, आर यू टॉकिंग अबाउट वो जो पार्ट है आपका सबसे बड़ा धनवान, उसकी बात कर रहे हैं?
नहीं मैम, उनको था वो ये हेल्दी ईटिंग के बारे में एक पार्ट था. मैं नॉट.
अच्छा चलिए कोई बात नहीं, मुझे लगा कि probably आप उसी के बारे में बात करें, बट यू नो इट वाज अ वंडरफुल आइडिया. और मैं आपको बताऊं, आप ना घर में एज मदर्स अपने बच्चों को कितना भी बोल लो बेटे ये खाना है ये नहीं खाना है, कोई फायदा नहीं है. टीचर एक बार एक एक्टिविटी से समझा दे हेल्दी ईटिंग, उसके बाद देखो बच्चा ग्रीन वेजिटेबल भी खाता है और फ्रूट्स भी खा लेता है और जंक भी नहीं खाता है. सो दैट इज द मैजिक ऑफ these activities and role playing. Thank you so much, Janvi. It was wonderful talking to you. We have Shikha. Shikha has raised hand.
Yes, ma'am. Good
Anji,
afternoon, ma'am. I'm from Bal Bharati Public School, NTTC Khargon. Ma'am, I'm a history teacher, but I'm teaching Hindi also, so I use this one, cloud chart for Sangya, Sarvanam, Kriya, and Visheshan. So
Very
I
nice.
have written some on drops. I have written Pustak, Ram, Krishna in Sangya. So these kind of props I'm using for teaching. So students take very initiative part in it. So I'm using these kind of props. And when I am teaching SSC, so I am using this one, like water cycles. I have lots of model like this. So
Very nice, Shikha.
Yes, ma'am.
Good,
So
good,
they are
good.
enjoyed it.
Good effort, ma'am.
Good,
Good effort.
good.
I have also 2-3 models, ma'am. Can I show you?
Ha, please. We would love to see.
This one, like solar system.
Solar
And,
system, okay.
Okay, and I have this one also. It is windmill. So these kind of props I'm using in my teaching method that students can understand.
Great.
Very good, Shikha. Sonali ji.
नमस्कार मैम, मैं बाल भारती पब्लिक स्कूल दर्लीपली से हूँ. मैम, आई मेड दिस टाइप ऑफ क्यूब्स. 5 सेंस ऑर्गन का है. आई हैव 2 क्यूब्स. वन इज और इसको मैंने स्क्वायर शेप में लिया और अंदर पेपर स्टफ किया है. एंड बच्चे क्या करते हैं, इसको थ्रो करके मैं इसको ड्रॉ कर देती हूँ जमीन पे नंबर वाइज. एंड लाइक 6 आया तो उनको 6 स्टेप चलने हैं. एंड देन और कोई किया है तो वो स्टेप वाइज एक गेम होता है. तो बच्चे एंजॉय करते हैं इसको. ये है यस 5 सेंस ऑर्गन, इस पे कोई भी टाइप का, जैसे आई हैव सीजन ऑल्सो, जैसे 6 सीजन का बना लिया, पार्ट्स ऑफ बॉडी का अलग अलग टाइप का। ये है देखिए 5 सेंस ऑर्गन। जैसे नोज से हम क्या क्या स्मेल कर सकते हैं, बैड स्मेल, गुड स्मेल। एंड ईयर से वी कैन लिसन हॉर्न, म्यूजिक, बेल, टेलीफोन रिंग। टंग से हम क्या क्या टेस्ट करते हैं, अलग अलग टाइप के टेस्ट, कोल्ड, हॉट, यमी, चीजी, सॉल्टी, एवरीथिंग। एंड वी हैव टच ऑल्सो। टच का मैंने क्या किया है, 5 टाइप के टच भी इसमें ऐड किए, लाइक ये स्मूथ है, दिस इज रफ, ये सॉफ्ट, रफ, स्मूथ, स्टिकी। यहाँ पे मैंने वो स्टिक वाला भी खराब हो गया है, इसको वापस मैं डालूंगी। स्टिकी, दे कैन फील, एंड इस टाइप के है मैम।
सोनाली, यहाँ पे ना आप यू कैन इवन विद दीज 5 सेंसेस, जब आप टच के बारे में बात करते हो तो आप इसको थोड़ा सा गुड टच, बैड टच भी बच्चों को बता सकते हो।
यस मैम, यस,
है ना? that was
good effort.
actually
मैम बहुत सारी चीजों की बनाए जा सकते हैं, मीन्स क्यूब से बच्चे थ्रो करके जो भी आया उसके बारे में बताते हैं। एंड अभी सीजन्स के भी हैं, और अल्फाबेट से भी रिलेटेड कर सकते हैं, लाइक ए आया तो बहुत सारी चीजें ए से बी से अलग अलग टाइप से, तो ये क्यूब से भी बच्चों को मजा आता है, मीन्स when they jump.
Very nice, very nice. We have Shikha also, ma'am. एक बार शिखा।
Bharti.
Sorry, ma'am.
Teachers, I request, please don't leave the session because we will be sharing a feedback form at the end. You all have to submit that feedback form. It would be really appreciable. You have just take out a few seconds and fill that form. Do submit that form, which will really help us. Thank you. Now you can continue, Bharti.
Nothing, ma'am. I was enjoying listening to everybody. Sonali has already spoken. It was so nice, you know. We don't happen to meet, but meeting each other and listening what is happening in other branches at this platform is amazing. So I think no more hands up now, no more raised hands now. And Monica, ma'am, over to you now.
Friends, here I would like to share a video which our children have made, like Bharti talked about that zero kata, tic tac toe. तो हमारे यहाँ बच्चों ने grammarian tic tac toe बनाई है, which I am sharing. Allow me to share. It's on YouTube. Just give me a second to present my screen.
Public School, Rohini, Delhi. Today we will play a game called Grammarian Tic-Tac-Toe and also learn what are proper nouns and common nouns. So let's get started. So before we start the game, let's go to the rules. It is a game played between two players. First, we need to make a grid of 3 into 3. Whoever gets 2 or 4 will first start the game. In our game, we will use pictorial examples of proper nouns or common nouns. We need to make the right pattern of proper noun or common nouns in either horizontal, vertical or diagonal line. Whoever gets to make a correct pattern first earns a point, and one who gets maximum number of points wins the game. So those were the rules. So friends, let's quickly learn what are proper nouns and common nouns. Proper noun is a certain person, place, animal or thing. For example, Mahatma Gandhi, Qutub Minar, etc. And common nouns are any person, place, animal or thing. For example, book, city, etc. So, let's play the game. Now I will roll the dice. Yay, I got 2. So, I will start the game first. So, I select this picture. picture and put it in this block. Now my opponent selects this picture and puts it in this block. Now I'm thinking what picture I should select, and I will select this picture and put it in this block. Now my opponent must be thinking, and he selects this picture and put it in this block. Now I will select this picture and put it in this block. So I have made a pattern of pictures in a diagonal line. So let me check whether they are proper nouns or common nouns. Okay, so this is a proper noun. Alright. This is also a proper noun. Now let me check if that is a proper noun. Yay! It is also a proper noun. So now I have got a point. Okay, so friends, now I am rolling the dice for my opponent. Oh, he won! So he'll start the game first. Okay, so now he selects this picture and puts it in this block. Now I will select this picture and put it in this block. Now my opponent must be thinking, and he selects this picture and puts it in this block. Okay, so now I will select this picture and put it in this block. Okay, so now my opponent selects this picture and he puts it in this block. So now my opponent has got a pattern of pictorial examples in a diagonal line. So let me check if these all are proper nouns or common nouns. Okay, so this is a common noun. Let me check this. This is also a common noun. Okay, so now let me check this picture. Oh, this is also a common noun. So now my opponent wins this game. Friends, this game can also be played for different grammar topics. It's suitable for primary students, as it is a pictorial game and focuses on basic concepts of grammar. By increasing the difficulty level, it can be played by gifted children, and by decreasing the difficulty level, it can be played by specially able children. Hope you liked it. Thank you and have a nice day.
Amazing, Monica ma'am, and such confidence. Look at the child.
This way we can train our children to play games. जो हमने खेला है आज तक उसी को हम आगे लेके जा सकते हैं. I have a question here. When you all were doing online classes, what all game platforms or live platforms you were using? Can anyone put in the chat box? आप लोग क्या क्या use कर रहे थे? Are you aware of live worksheets and word walls? I just want to know that. Otherwise, I can share that. You were using quiz, okay? Any other online gaming platforms or interactive things that you were doing when you were online? PPTs, yeah, we all were doing PPTs. Apart from that, this I'm asking because I have 2-3 platforms. If you're already aware, then I should not share. But if you are not, then I would like to share because they are really good platforms. Videos online, like these YouTube videos and our own made videos, PPTs and toys. Okay. Any other? I would like to have more responses. Quizzes, we all know we can make quizzes. We can have Kahoot also. Yes, I wanted to know about this word wall and live worksheets. Have you all been using live worksheets, which is also a very interactive platform the children can really use, and they get involved in the worksheets. Word wall games are amazing for them. They really love it, and it is very easy to share them. Kahoot, yes. Then there is a platform for stories also. Have you heard of Storyweaver? Have you all been to Storyweaver? I want to know yes or no. Has anyone used Storyweaver? Map, okay. I'm talking about Storyweaver. It has a good range of stories for all the age groups, and it is a very important feature that it has read along stories. Okay, so I will share my screen. Allow me to do that.
And I will show you one story through the story weaver, which you can use in the class, because right now we all are having some panels in the classrooms where we can use it. Just allow me to share my screen. See, this is Storyweaver platform. आप Storyweaver डालोगे, you will get it. I will also share the link after the session. And this
Rani's First Day at School. Written by Cheryl Rao. Illustrated by Mayur Mistry. Published by Pratham Books. It is my first day at school. Mummy is holding my hand and walking with me. I am grown up now, I say. Let go, let go. Mummy holds my hand very tight. There are many children near the school. They come by bus, they come by car, they come by rickshaw, they cycle, they walk like me. We reach the gate. Mummy lets go of my hand. She stays at the gate. I have to go inside alone. There are many new faces all around me. I take one step. I take another step. I look back. Mummy gets smaller as I walk away. Will she disappear? I run back to her. I don't feel so grown up. I hold her hand. Don't go away, I say. Everyone is inside now. I am the only one outside. The teacher comes out. She smiles at me. I smile back. Mummy says, Rani, I will be here when you come out. I let go of her hand. She waves to me. I run inside. Mummy will be there after school.
So this is the platform. As you all can see, you can use it in the class. There are good stories from Pratham Books also, and for all age groups, class 1 and 2, class 3, 4, 5, they read along, children enjoy, and you can see as she was reading, the highlighted word was there. So it's very good for enhancing their reading skills. Then, because I did not get response about live worksheets from a lot of you, so I would like to share that also. एक बार मैं आपको दिखा देती हूँ. This is the worksheet. See here, it is a worksheet. It's a simple one, but it has been given a mode for interaction. Like, I have got a bike, it's pink. So true or false. If I click true, then I move to the next one. I've got a scooter, it's orange. If I put true, I've got a scooter, it's yellow. Now it's true or false. The child will read and decide. I put a false. I've got a ball, it's black. So let me do one wrong also. I put true here. I've got a ball, it's yellow, red, green, and blue. It's false. We scroll down. I've got a kite, it's blue, white, yellow, and red. It is false. Now here the child has to finish. As it finishes, it says, check my answers. The child will click, and you can see on the top, the sheet is automatically checked and child gets a score. So here the child is interacting on his own, and when they get score, when they get it submitted, they like it, they enjoy it, they want to have more and more worksheets. There are some worksheets where there are pencils to match for, where there are boxes to drag. So children enjoy these kind of simple things. You type live worksheets and the topic, you will get these worksheets online. So do try them in your classes. Children will have fun doing them. They are learning a concept, but in a fun manner. So let me stop my screen here. Now, anyone who would like to share something about the session, about the TBP, anything that you have already incorporated, though many of you have already shared, but anyone who wants to say something can please come and share. We would love that. We would appreciate if you would come forward and share. You will be getting a feedback link soon. You have to fill that up. Thank you, Janvi ma'am. It's basically sharing only. We all are doing something new in our fields, in our own ways, but sharing makes it easy and accessible for all. Hope you all liked the session. Hope we were able to do justice. Though I really appreciate Bharti's part. I've loved it, Bharti. The way you talked, the way you told the things, it was a recapitulation for me also. See, I am dealing with class 1 and 2 for past 15 years in Bal Bharti, but though I have a teaching experience of 22 years, but doing this session, doing this TBP has really given me a lot of satisfaction and pleasure. And today's session, Bharti, I really loved it. Bharti, you're on mute.
Even I love doing it, Monica. And friends, I would like to tell you here that, we are not the resource persons. We are just teachers like you. We just came here to share with you what we are doing and to know what you are doing. And believe me, it was a learning session for us also, as Monica ma'am said. And Monica, learning so much from you. I mean, you're definitely more experienced, and you could convey it to me, to all of us rather, in a far better way. So we are all on learning mode, friends, and thank you for encouraging us so much, and thank you for keeping the chat box vibrating, for speaking to us. Online sessions go mundane and monotonous if the participation is not equally from both the sides. So you rock. People, yes. Friends, you really rock. You made us going.
You made us comfortable, that we were able to conduct the session, hopefully in a very nice manner. Before the session, we both were apprehensive. Ki Bharti, kya hoga? Would we be able to do this justice? Because we are teachers like you, but we have been told to do this, to share our learnings with you. So we were here. बट इससे पहले बटरफ्लाइज इन द स्टमक, जैसे आपकी थी वैसे हमारी भी थी
कि जितना आता है, हाँ, पता नहीं बता पाएंगे कैसे बता पाएंगे, but then we managed 4.5 hours with you, and it was
these little comments, they are a motivation for us.
Thank you so much, Mallikarjun ji. Thank you so much.
Now I'm going to share the feedback link. उससे पहले मुझे एक DIY वीडियो आपको दिखाना है. I'm trying whether it works or not. Just allow me a minute.
Even I'm trying on a video, Monica. It was, the teachers, how they feel about TBP and how they like it. So it was a nice video, but I'm unable to manage it. I'm not able to bring the voice into it.
You please share it on the WhatsApp. I am trying.
I'll share.
You have to tell me whether you are able to hear it or not. Okay.
Try karo.
Hello everyone. We have designed the DIY.
Yes, Monica, we can hear it.
As of grade 3. The kit contains a square origami sheet, Fevistick.
Oh shit! I put it on the presentation mode and just give me a second.
Hello everyone. We have designed the DIY kit for our learners of grade 3. The kit contains a square origami sheet, Fevistick, a wooden stick or pencil, a board pen, an eraser, and an instruction manual. The firki or spin toy is an old traditional toy used even by our grandparents. It is a wonderful example of teaching symmetry in maths and the concept of wind energy in EVS. It is very important that the folding pattern is followed properly, otherwise the blades will not move. This helps to generate curiosity and reasoning in the young minds.
Matthew, send that video to me.
मोनिका मेरे पास वो
Monica, can we
Yes.
Can we have the feedback link now?
Yeah, I'm posting it in the chat box.
All right.
Give me just a second.
Thank you all. Thank you. So friends, you
Friends,
have
it's there in the chat box. Please start filling. You can click on it and just feedback. You have to fill it. It is really appreciable if every member fills it. We want to know from your perspective. Thank you everyone for being such a wonderful audience and helping us to sail through this. It was a wonderful, enriching session for us also because we also got to know a lot many things
Thank you
from
very
our
much, ma'am.
colleagues.
Thank you.
Like the ma'am, this
Very, very
Shobha ma'am
interesting
told about
session, ma'am.
Asmita and Paryavaran ventilator par. That was very nice.
Actually, I was also touched. Asmita se to sunkar na.
Thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivangi.
Please fill your feedback form. Don't forget to do that.
Anji, before leaving, please.
Bharti's DIY in the this video, which we will in the WhatsApp group. You can watch it from there.
Hanji, and before leaving, friends, please fill the feedback.
Thank you, Varsha, for this comment. It is really motivating. It is good to see and know that we were able to give you something which was desired. The feedback form is the attendance link only. You can fill the feedback form that will be marked as attendance only. You can fill your feedbacks. What I'll do is I'll share the link in the WhatsApp group. So आप अपने phone से भी कर सकते हो. That will be comfortable for all.
Makes sense.
A group for sitting. Okay, allow me a second. I will share the link there.
अच्छा ये सुमन जी ने बोला है that we are sitting together. Ma'am, Monica ma'am, I think they need to fill the feedback form separately, no?
That is
From
why
their
I
own
sent
phones.
you on WhatsApp group.
Now I understood.
Now they will be
That
able
is
to do it
Haan
from
ji,
their phones so that their attendance can be marked. I can understand that.
Yes, absolutely. For marking the attendance, it has to be filled separately from your phones. Right.
It's there in the WhatsApp group, the TBP session group that we created. I have posted the link of the feedback form there. You are requested to please fill it before leaving for the day.
See our commitment, friends. We said 1 o'clock. We are leaving you at 1. हमने ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ाया.
We kept the deadline, right?
Yes, we kept the deadline.
And we're really thankful to our mentors, Suruchi ma'am, Geeta ma'am, who have been the guiding light, who have been bearing with us.
Absolutely. This platform was provided to us by our principals, our guiding stars.
That they bestowed on us.
Absolutely. And not only for providing this opportunity, for guiding us throughout. I remember Geeta ma'am, took out time for us yesterday also. And here also, our mentors were constantly guiding us, aise karna hai. And that is why we could manage today. So our sincere thanks.
It was ma'am's conviction only, which has brought us here.
And I remember, my principal saying to me, "Arey, kar loge tum? Who says, kyun pareshan ho rahe ho? I'm sure you'll be able to make it."
Also, I got a call from Geeta ma'am, then my HM ma'am, Alka ma'am, she called me, "Monica, you will do it." Because I told everyone that I had butterflies in my stomach, whether I will be able to justify it or not. But yeah, thank you.
Atashi, Monica, Atashi has raised hand. You want to say something?
Hanji Atishi ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I did not receive the attendance link as I faced little problem. Network issue was there. So can you help me out, ma'am?
Put it in the WhatsApp group. Are you there in the group?
No,
have you joined the WhatsApp group? So should I post in the chat box here again?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
That be I've posted, ma'am. You can do it from here.
Okay, thank you.
So we would now take your leave. And please, everyone, thank you for bearing with us once again. And we have put the link in the WhatsApp group. If anyone is not able to fill it right now, you have the time. You can do it by end of the day and submit your form.
Actually,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I leave you with these 2 lines. The way Monica ma'am began, I want to end. Don't forget this song. Aaya re khilane wala khel, khilane leke aaya re, aaya re, laya re khilane leke naye naye, खिलौने लाया रे. Don't mind my voice, but my spirit
इसको आगे
is
चला सकते हैं भारती.
हाँ और बना सकते हैं.
चांद पे ले जाएं नई खिलौनों से आए एक नया सपना सजाएं. Oh, you can carry on.
Actually, Monica ma'am, एक और आपका hidden talent हमें पता लग गया आज.
Chalo, thank you everyone. Thank you for bearing with us.
So much.
Fill the feedback form. So, bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Sunday, everyone. Okay, Bharti, bye.
Excellent session, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It really means a lot.
It really means a lot. Actually, means a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
No,
nice
next जो सेशन मेरे पल्लू वाली है, पल्लू पे जाकर पढ़ाऊंगी बच्चों को.
ठीक है मैम. I really love this.
नानी को भी याद रखना.
बिल्कुल. Okay, ma'am. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. You can leave the session. It was nice being with you. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. And bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye.